Yung brand ko rin dati sa Kobar.
Oh, si Eber, oh.
Eber, tsaka may pinaskil siyang picture nila, brother, ni Pastor John, yung pamilya. May plakad silang, may plakad silang hawak na pamilya. Lima silang, magaling na yung panganay.
Oo nga.
Daming tumulong.
Maraming tumulong.
Pati sa JC Turbisi, nagbigay din yung natin ng unang.
Maraming tumulong.
Daming tumulong ngayon. Kaya nagpapasalamat sila, may plakad silang ganyan. Sana bukas mag-attend na si Pastor Jan?
Dapat. Attend siya. Para, At,
tapos magbigay siya ng testimony, no?
Magbigay siya ng testimony niya.
Alam mo, yung testimony niya kung bibigay sa bukas, napakabigat na testimony. Gaya nangyari sa akin nung aksidente ako, nung pag-testify ako sa church namin. Talagang very heavy ang dating. Yung mga ganyan mga pagsubok. Yung mga ganyan mga pagsubok sa buhay natin mga Christian. Lalo na may namatay. Yan, it's a living testimony.
Kaya nga. Tama. Yung iba kasi pag ganyan ng dinanas, bumibitaw, di ba?
Yan ang bumibitaw sila. Bakit kinu-question na sila, Lord, bakit ako pa?
Oo nga.
Ano bang nagawa ko? Bakit mo ako binigyan ng gatong pagsubok na ano bang nagawa kong kasalanan?
Nabasa mo Habakuk?
Habakuk.
Habakuk, basahin mo. 3 chapter lang naman yun eh. Si Habakuk. Yan ang question ni Habakuk kay Lord. Sabi niya, bakit? Diba? Yun ang question ni Habakuk kay Lord na bakit
maraming mas makasalanan sa kanya.
Bakit yan ang question ni Habakuk.
Bakit siya na isang righteous binigyan siya ng ganong pagsubok? Maraming ganyan na Brad.
Si Jeremiah
maraming ganyan maski na Christian.
Siyempre. Si Jeremiah naman, ang question niya kay Lord is, bakit niya itatry, paano bang ni Jeremiah kay Lord? Dahil
namundok siya, di ba?
Si Jeremiah
namundok.
Ang question ni Jeremiah is, bakit ginagamit ni Lord yung Assyria, di ba? Na hindi naman kilala si Lord, mas sila yung pagano sila na parusahan ng Israel na pag nagkakasala. Yan ang question naman ng Jeremiah. Iyakin yan si Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Hoy, Ka-Joey.
Ka-Joey. Good evening. Hindi yan narinig yata yung natin. Sarado pa yung Ka-Joey.
Hindi, yan. Basahin mo. Meron siyang chat.
Ayun, chat.
No audio. Bakit kaya?
Yun, Kaed. Okay. Kumusta naman?
Pwede. Magsinyasa rin tayo. Pwede naman. Paano pa?
Pwede naman.
Paano bang sinyas?
Alex ka, Tony, Kaed. No audio, pasensya na. Listening. Bagong laptop. Ano lang yan, mic ang bili mo muna. Mic muna ang bili niya.
Hindi, meron siyang yung laptop. Sa yung kanyang laptop.
Kasi minsan yung laptop, ang nagmamalfunction lamang yung mic lang niya. Ba't ka bibili na ng laptop maganda pa naman yatang, unless lumang-luma na talaga, naghanap na ng kapalit.
Okay.
Itong laptop ko, binili ko to before nang ako'y nag-retire na. Gaming itong binili ko, ang ganda.
Si Kaela, teka, pwede nating isama si Kaela dito, ha? Sama natin siya. Imbitahin natin.
Yes, sabang matawagan.
Imbitahin natin siya.
Kasi wow naman siya, di ba?
Ano siya? Pag-join na natin siya. Kasi kailangan mag-join siya.
Dapat bukas ma-invite niya si Pastor dyan. Kasi Pastor dyan lang. At saka isa sa mga anak niya.
Lahat na sila. Si Kwan, yung nasa Australia, di ba? May assignment ako sa'yo. Yeah.
Ako sa akin?
Pero alam mo siguro Alam mo na yung mayroong mayroong, hindi ba si Lord lahat ang gumawa ng lahat ng bagay-bagay, di ba? In control siya, di ba?
Yeah.
Meron siyang isang hindi control na isang bagay na hindi niya kinokontrol. Meron siya isang bagay na yun yung kasi sa kanya lahat Kaya nung ino-offer na ko ni Satanas yung ibibigay ko sa lahat. Ibibigay ko sa iyo lahat ito. Sa kanya lahat, di ba?
Oo nga, yung
hindi kasi
nag-fasting si Jesus.
Kasi si Satanas, ang tingin niya kay Jesus, di ba hindi niya alam na tinetest niya ang tingnan niya kay Jesus, tao. Yun. Di ba sabi ko nga? Pagka yan yung pinaka-kondakuan, ang tingin kay Jesus Christ, tao. Tinatago siya So, ino-offera niya, no?
Oo.
Yan yung gano'n.
Yung una yung batong. Yung tinapay.
Yan.
It is written.
Tinetest niya. Kasi
it is written.
Hindi naman niya alam.
Man shall not live by bread alone, but for every word that comes from the mouth of God.
Hindi niya alam lahat Pagka nalaman mo yung sinasabi ko, yung isang bagay na yun yung gustong-gusto ni Lord na makuha.
Yung di ba yung trust, di ba yung trust?
Mayroon siyang isang bagay na gusto niyang makuha, no? Na isa yun yung trust isa. Pero
sa tao?
Sa'yo. Kasi
yung yung trust nga. Di ba yung trust?
Yung trust, paano mo maipapakita yung trust? Hindi kasi ang gusto ni Lord kasi, yung trust, pwede mong na pwede kitang i-trust. Magkaibigan tayo, okay lang. Magtiwala ako sa'yo.
Okay. Faith.
Ha?
Faith.
Hindi, faith. Siyang may author yun May bigay sa atin yun
Di trust na.
Isang bagay na, hindi ba yung sinasabi, isang bagay na niya, pagka na-develop mo yon, di ba? Yun ang gustong-gusto niya. Kasi ama mo siya, di ba? Yung praise. Yung papuri mo sa kanya, yung papuri mo sa kanya, saka yun ang gusto niya.
Yung papuri bilang ama mo siya.
Siya yun lang talaga ang gusto niya sa iyo. Yan lang yan. Isa-isahin mo lahat ng bagay-bagay. Lahat ng bagay, siya lahat ang naglalang lahat yan Hindi niya kailangan yan, di ba? Ang kailangan niya, yung parati mo siyang yung nilalambing parati. Yan ang gusto niyang makuha sa iyo. Yan. Kaya sacrifice of praise, di ba? Wala kang ibang sakripisyo. Yung mga ginagawang mga kung ano-ano, hindi niya kailangan yun. Kasi wala ka nang magagawa eh. Wala ka nang magagawa, di ba? Kaya ang gusto niya makuha niya sa iyo, yung tunay, yung pagmamahal mo sa kanya, yung pinupuri mo siyang ama mo siya, na ama mo. Yun. Naku, pagkaya ng doon, ma-develop ng bawat isa. Yun ang gustong-gusto ni Lord. Kasi kita mo yung, alam mo kaya nakita ko yan? Dahil pag binabasa ko yung niya sa Israel, di ba? Kasi sa Israel, wala kang magmula naman sa magmula doon sa Bible, di ko mabasa yung mga love eh. Love, wala eh. Pati yung sa wala eh. Ang nagsasabi lang ng konti lang yung sa Psalm, di ba? Kay Kwan.
Yung 1 Corinthians 13.
Oh, ano lang yun? Tawag niya ikinukan ni Paul. That is the substance, substance,
Kay Paul.
Oh, di ba? Pero ang talagang nagkukuha ng love is si John, di ba?
Oh. Ang di ba
kasi
the name Jesus, Jesus mean love.
Kasi kaya nga after na mo na siya. Pero doon sa mga hindi ba tingnan mo yung Israel doon sa Old Testament hanggang yung kanilang drama. Kaya nakita ko
ang problema kasi sa mga Israelite, hindi sila naniniwala si Kristo ay Panginoon, is the King of King, dahil ang in-expect nilang king kasi king, as a king, dating siya as a king, hindi yun as pauper na walang hindi nga siya paniniwalaan. Tapos ang dami niyang nung nag-start na siyang mag-reveal ng pagiging Diyos niya, nagbabiolate siya ng mga Jewish law.
Hindi kasi yung ang pagkakaintindi nila.
Yan ang pagkakaintindi nila.
Kasi ang doon is talagang sila yung grupo ng tao na binlinded ni Lord. They were blinded. They were blinded, partially blinded because of alam mo ba na nag-a-attend ako ng yung mga seminar ng mga rabbi.
Yan. Meron dyan.
Rabbi sa nila sa US, Yung mga
sa online.
Alam mo hindi nila maintindihan, hindi nila makita talaga. Hindi. But pati yung mga tawag nito, yung mga patungo kay Lord. Basa nila ay yung Zakaria at saka yung Ezekiel. Sinasabi ng rabbi, this is very hard to understand. Actually, sabi ng rabbi, we can only know this one if it is already happening. Yun. Yan ang niya, Hindi nila makita, blinded talaga sila. Tama.
Si Paul, 'di ba, paano si Paul siya? 'Di ba, isa siya sa mga nagko-condemn sa mga Christian noon nung nandiyan pa siya sa Jerusalem.
Nagpakita si Lord sa kanya eh.
Nagpakita si Lord sa kanya.
Nagpakita. Hanggang pag hindi nagpakita
Damascus. So pinapunta sa Damascus. Tapos talagang yung mga Jew na hindi talaga maniwala sa kanya, na napagalitan niya, your blood will be under your sinabi na niya yun nung nagalit na siya doon sa Corinthians chapter 19 yata yun. Sa mga sa Acts 19 yata yun. Sa Corinthians.
Lumipat na siya. Kasi yun, ang Jew.
Galit siya sa mga Jew, sabi niya. Inubad niya inubad niya pagiging preacher niya sa mga Diyos. Sabi niya, sa Gentile na lamang ako pupunta. Tapos yung kaibigan niya, niyang Gentile, si ano yun, yung mag-asawa. Hindi, nung paglabas niya ng synagogue, hindi doon umuwi. Kasi mga jury niyo. Talagang pinakita niya na sino yung mag-asawa, yung mag-asawang
si Aquila.
Si Aquila at si Priscilla. Priscilla. Hindi siya umuwi doon. Pumunta siya doon sa bahay tabi nung synagogue na na Gentile. Talagang pinakita niya na hindi na ako pupunta sa mga Jew. Pero ano lang naman yun eh. Ano kasi siya eh, erratic eh. Pero hindi naman niya ginawa eh. Nag-ano rin kasi. Tapos nung natapos na niya yung tatlong mission niya, yung third leg niya, uuwi na siya sa Jerusalem. Tapos sabi ng mga kasama niya, tsaka yung Holy Spirit, wag kang pumunta ng Jerusalem kasi delikado ang buhay mo doon. Pwede ka nalang patayin doon. Naka-ready siyang mamatay, no? Nagpunta pa rin.
May mission. Ang mission niya kasi ay mag-testify kay doon sa Rome.
Sa Jerusalem muna eh.
Kailan makapunta siya doon? Kanya nga pumunta
siya sa Jerusalem eh. Yun ang sa kanya. Pero umuwi pa rin siya. Pero hindi naman na siya pinatay.
Hindi. Kasi may mission. Sinabi ni Lord eh. Pupunta ka sa pagkamana. Diba? Kasi pupunta ka pa sa Rome.
After Jerusalem, punta pa sa Rome.
Kaya kahit na siya, nagtitiwala siya sinabi ni Lord.
Yung ano yun, yung alam mo, nasa Acts kami ngayon, brother, pinag-aaralan namin Acts eh. Yung ano namin, yung Friday group namin, mga taga Alcobar, JC Torbisi. Mga kasama ko, tsaka mga nag-uwian na. Yung Acts ang ano namin eh, pinag-aaralan namin. Binibigyan kami ng mga tigisang chapter o Alex eh, chapter 19 ang ano mo. Tapos bawat isang may kanyang topic. I-expound mo ngayon, i-explain mo ngayon yun.
Kawabi, kumusta ka na?
Andiyan na si Karomi.
Andiyan si Wabi.
Mabuti po, Kaed. Magandang gabi po.
Ayos lang.
Good evening, Karomi.
Hintayin lang natin yung sila Katoni, Kumakain lang si Katoni. Tapos start tayo. Yeah.
Ano na nangyari, brad? Ano nangyari sa sa solar, yung solar, yung project ng Germany. Kay Caruben Mat yata yun. Yung solar farm, yung 34 sites dito sa Central Luzon.
Tigil naman lahat eh. Di ba? Hintayin natin kasi may mga ginagawa itong mga
yung mga nag-offer ng lupa nagtatanong sa akin eh.
Wala, kami tigil muna lahat kasi tignan, kaya watch nga watch. Alam ba, nagkakaroon sila ngayon ng ngayon. Itong mga kabal, ewan ko kung paano gagawin nila.
Anong kabal?
Wala. Alam ni Kawawi yan, si Kabal. Mga kabal. Ay, yung mga elite, yung mga may hawak ng mga pera, ilang nagkocontrol. Actually, di naman eh.
Kasama ba yung mga yan, mga elite niya sa New World?
Sila nga ang sila yung globalist eh. Mayroon sila nga yung climate change nila, tsaka yung itong
one religion, one currency, one world.
Yan. Dahil sa climate change, saka sa ano ba yung mga isang yung global warming, ginawa nila.
Kung one religion, anong religion kayang ipapasok nila.
Catholic yun. Catholic tsaka Islam.
Kaya
Meron
pala
na.
si Pope,
Vatican.
kaya pala si Pope ang isa sa mga member.
Siya ang chairman. Si Pope ang nag-organize niyan. Ang ano nila, ano yan, ang inorganize nila is Chrislam. Chrislam religion yan.
Chrislam.
Bale, mix ng Christianity tsaka Islam. So, magkakuan sila. Malapit na. Malapit nilang
Pero hindi natin nabuti niyan, brad, ano ha?
Kasi yung great reset na yan, di ba? Alam mo yung beginning of sorrow na sinasabi ni Lord? Yun yung rapture yun. That will be the
after
beginning.
The rapture. After the rapture.
Pagka-rapture niyan,
yun yung beginning na
sorrow. Kasi yung mga naiwan
yung mga naiwan, they will
that is the beginning of sorrow.
They will mourn. They will mourn, they will cry.
Ayun na. It's the beginning of sorrow, but it's not yet the end, sabi ni Lord.
Hindi pa, meron pang 7 years tribulation pa.
Tribulation. Pero yung 7 years tribulation kasi is hindi mo alam kung immediately after the rapture or meron pang konting...
Hindi pa, brad Hindi ba yung pinag-aral natin that will be for quite some time kasi meron pang may mga mangyayari pa yung revelation ni Satan, ni Antichrist.
Yan.
Magre-rain, mag-isat siya ng rain. Magre-rain na siya, di ba?
Ano siya? Kukumbisihin niya yung Israel.
Magkakaroon ng peace. Magkakaroon ng total peace agreement ng buong mundo noon
Actually, may bagong kanya yun Kasi, alam ka yung nangyari ito sa Afghanistan. Itong Afghanistan na ito, isa ito sa mga nawawalang tribo ng Israel yan May hindi ba, 10 tribo ng Israel nawala? Nawala. Inawala sila. Yan yun.
Di ba 7 lang, di ba? 7?
Hindi, 10. 10 tribes of Israel yan. Nawala. 10 yan. Nawala yan. Nawala sila. Ang naiwan lang Judah Saka itong tawag niya ito, yung sakwan.
Samaria.
Hindi, yung Levitico, Levites.
Levites.
Sila naiwan di ba? Judah at Levites. Yung iba nawala Nawala.
Kung yan yung nawawala, bakit kalaban nila ang Israel?
Oo nga. Siyempre, hindi ba noon Israel sa Kakuan naglalaban na? Tingnan mo, ang Old Testament, Israel saka Judah at saka hindi ba yung nagsimula ng laban yan sa selosan Kasi hindi
Yung dalawang tribe, yung Judea at saka Israel?
Hindi pa doon ang start kasi yung si Benjamin saka si hindi ba noon na nilusob nila yung isang na hindi na isama yung mga nandun sa kabilang Jordan na medyo nagalit na bakit hindi sila sinama doon sa gera, di ba? Di ba ginera sila doon nagkaroon ng tampuhan yun
Selosan.
Tingnan mo, yung basahin mo yun, yung area na yun. Na nanalo naman ng Israel pero sa gera na yun, pero hindi na isama yung mga nandun sa kabilang ng Jordan.
Sa Daniel ba yun ba? Daniel? Kasi
Joshua, di ba doon sa may na? Kasi,
Joshua.
di ba noon yung ang yan kasi is nung tumawid sila, nakita nila yung Jordan, maganda. Kaya nagpaiwan doon si God God, saka sino ba mga nagpaiwan doon? 3 yung tribong doon Pero ang sinabi sa kanila ni Joshua, sige, pwede kayo maiwan, di ba? Pero, samahan niyo muna itong mga ito, di ba? Sa gera. Oo, sa gera. Ayun. So, nung sinamahan nila, nanalo sila, nung umuwi na sila, nagtayo sila ng panibagong nagtayo sila ng doon sa pagitan sa mga Jordan, nagtayo sila ng altar nila, di ba? Altar. Oh, edi tinawag sila, ba't sila kayo nagtayo ng sarili yung altar, di ba? May altar tayo rito. Kasi, ayun, isa yun. Medyo yun, okay na-explain nila ng okay, na tinanggap naman ng Pangalawa, yung lumusob itong Israel, di ba? Doon sa, hindi na sila tinatawag na Israel nandito sa kabila although kay Jacob sila, ang tawag nila sa kabila, Israel, tapos dito sa kabila, hindi na.
Yung kay Jacob de Israel, di ba? Tapos si Judea.
Nung si Judah naman,
Judah.
dahil tong si David, dahil kasi si David nagkasala, di ba? So na-divide yung kanyang kingdom. Dahil dun sa kasalanan. So may Judah, may Israel. Ngayon, nawala ang Israel, di ba? Naiwan Judah. Kaya yung mga Jew.
Judaism.
Jew. Pero nagbalik sila. Kaya itong, alam mo, may namit namin yung, nandiyan si Noel sana Namit ko yung Antichrist ng isang araw Binidyo ko rito
Antichrist?
Andiyan sa Philippines.
Sino?
Itong taong ito, galing ng ano ba ito? Boston to Boston ba? Galing ng Amerikano.
Baka mga false prophet yan.
Hindi, pakinggan mo muna. Itong taong to, Kapari, hello. Nandiyan ka na?
Hindi ko pala. Alam ko na off ko. Okay lang.
Hindi, okay lang. Si Alex ito Sabi ko nga si Juan, si tawag nito, yung na-meet kong
Antichrist.
Ato, kwento galing ng... Stewart. Galing ng, sa Boston Boston. Pero Jew siya, no? So sabi ko, are you Israelite? No. Sabi niya, I'm not Israelite. I am a Jew, sabi niya. But I'm not Israelite. I am a Jew, sabi niya, but I'm not Israelite, sabi niya. So, nagpunta siya sa Philippines. Napunta siya sa Philippines, napangasawa niya itong si Juan, yung prinsesa, si Marites Salientes, anak ng general to. Nakasama ni Juan sa Sulu. Ito yung crown princess ng Sulu. Born yun noon ito. Si Marites Salientes. Tapos, siya ngayon yung may mga pinakita siya sa aming mga papeles. Siya yung may hawak ngayon lahat ng kayamanan ng Pilipinas, siyang tagapagmana. 172 na area nakabaon daw yung mga kayamanan ng Philippines na kaya pumapasok ang China sa atin, sabi niya sa China, because sabi nila 50% of that a treasure belongs to China. But sabi niya, if you are a royal, sabi niya, kahit na Chinese ka, sabi niya, kahit Filipino royal, kahit na tawag nito, kahit na anywhere in the world, pag royal ka, siya yung emperor. Siya yung present emperor siya. Kasi sabi niya, itong lupang ito, sabi niya, pag-aari ni Italiano. Ngayon, sabi niya, binigyan si Marcos ng, kinikwento niya, si Marcos
Italiano, hindi mo sa amin dito.
Italiano. Binibigyan niya, nakasulat doon sa mga kuno yun. Yung pati si Marcos, sila yung abogado nila, no? Yung nakalagay doon, no? Pero siya yung nag-iisang yung para makuha mo yung kayamanan na yun, siya yung pipirma. Itong kausap namin, no? So, ang dami niyang invention. Kasi Jew siya, no? Mga 200 eh. Pinakita niya sa pati yung ano yung separation ng water sa oil. Kaya interesado.
Anong pangalan? Anong pangalan niya, Brad?
Ha?
Anong pangalan niya?
Stewart Bloom.
Bloom.
Stewart Bloom. B-L-O-O-M. Bloom. Pero ang pangalan niya doon sa dokumento is Anthony Martin Santiago. Ang alias niya, the Spiritual Wonder Boy. Nakalagay doon. No? So, kinuwento niya, sabi niya, Ed, baka akala mo, ginagawa-gawa ko lang ito. Sabi, pinakita niya mga ano. Ito. Nung pumunta kami sa Kuwan, gusto niya mamit.
Ano yung pangalan niya, Brad? Ano?
Ha?
Yung pangalawang pangalan niya?
Yung sa dokumento, Anthony Martin Santiago. Wonder Boy.
Oh.
Tapos nagpakilala sa akin si Noel tapos nung gusto niya pumunta sa Saudi Arabia para ma-meet yung mga royal dito, no? Kaya sabi naman ni Noel, meron akong kaibigan nasa Saudi ngayon. Nung bandang huli sabi niya you know that sabi niya may pinakita siya, oh. You know the meaning of this? Nakalagay, Messiah, no? Yes, sabi ko, Messiah. I am the Messiah, sabi niya. Naku, sabi ko, I'm meeting the Antichrist, sabi ko. I am the Messiah, sabi niya. I am a human. I am not God, sabi niya. But I am the Messiah.
O tama, kasi Antichrist, Brad, is is a man eh.
Sabi niya,
I am the Messiah, 666 eh.
I am the Messiah, sabi niya. I am the Messiah. And the rabbis in Israel, they starting talking to me now, sabi niya. Kinakausap daw siya. Sabi ko, sabi pa nga, malumanay siya magsalita. Maano siya, parang kahit namurahin mo, hindi magano eh. Parang malumanay siya.
Sinong prinsesa na pangasawa niya?
Marites. Salientes. Marites. Salientes.
Anak ng dato.
Anak ng dato. Tingnan mo, Marites Salientes, ano mo, i-google mo. Sasabihin niya sa'yo, ano yan? Ano yan? Crown Princess yan. Ng
Mamaya, ginagamit, nasa computer tayo eh. Mamaya buksan ko.
So, ano na, yan, in-entertain. Haba ng usapan mo.
Nung makausap mo, Brad, anong ginawa mo?
Ha?
Anong ginawa mo?
Di siyempre, nag-usap kami. Kasi alam ko naman yung Bible eh. Nakikita niya yung kaya nakita niya siguro itong aking blessed of blessed na sabi niya, siya yung Messiah. Tapos, mayroon, pati Quran, kinuha niya sa akin, saka yung Torah, no? Sabi niya, no? Ha? Tapos, may mga pinakita siya na mga...
Kabisado niya lahat?
Kabisado niya. Pati yung kinuwento nga niya sa akin, istorya ni Rizal eh. Si Rizal, anak niya si Hitler. Si Hitler, anak niya itong si
Saddam. Si Saddam Hussein.
Hindi Saddam. Siguro.
Mussolini.
Yamasita po.
Hindi, siya Masita, anak din ni Rizal daw. Kasi siya Masita, kasi itong si Rizal, nagpunta ng Japan, na-meet niya yung isang prinsesa dyan, yung crown princess, ang anak nila si Masita. Nung nagbalik niya yung nagbalik tawag nito, padala ko dyan sa inyo para makita nyo lahat. Mga pinadala niya sa akin. Dala ko na rin kay Tony ito eh. Pero padala ko sa inyo. Nung papadala ko dyan sa Wawa, Naghahanap siya ng grupo na tutulong sa kanya Para sabi niya pagka raw yung mga invention niya hindi na na hindi siya
di pasok mo siya sa Wow. Kaya problema, anti-Christ yan
hindi yan ang
baka
ating
maging alipin niya tayo Siyempre nagtatrabaho ko sa kanya
Hindi. Nare-receive niyo ba? Pinadadala ko.
Oo. Nag-ano siya, no-notify.
Ayan. Pagka daw hindi niya maidala, walang makukon yung yung mga invention niya, mag-i-end ang world. It is the end of the world, sabi niya.
Kung hindi ma-materialize.
Yung mga invention niya, mailagay niya sa kaya nga naghahanap siya ng magkukon parang it will be
hindi naman capable ang Pilipinas na mag-finance ng mga mga invention
Hindi niya kailangan hindi niya kailangan ng pera. Marami siyang pera, di ba? Kailangan accept
kasi pera naman niya, hindi pa naman niya nahuhukay.
Hindi, sabi niya hindi kailangan ng pera. Kailangan ko sabi niya, yung i-accept yung mga sinasabi niya.
Pag ipasok mo sa web, baka maging tayo Brad, delikado
Hindi mo ba't mo ipapasok siya sa web?
Maging prophet. Maging prophet niya, si Prophet Ed Solar. Tapos mga disciple ni Ed Solar, Alex Domingo, Tony Pimentel.
Loko talaga. Loko yan
Siyempre, anti-Christ yan Christ yan, magkakaroon siya ng mga disciple niya.
Pero, hindi, ang doon siya, hindi siya yung kaya sabi niya siya yung Messiah, kinakausap siya ng mga rabay ngayon. Siya daw Messiah, hindi natin alam. Pero,
huwag tayong bibitaw kay Kristo, Brad.
Hindi naman ma-reveal yan pagka nandito pa tayo.
Hindi nga yung mga invention niya mga interesado kang pasukin yung mga invention niya
Ay, hindi. Ang invention niya, alam mo ba invention niya? Sabi niya, I am going to contest what is actually written in the Genesis. Hindi, yung ng Genesis doon na yung sinabi ni Lord doon na ang babae magbubuntis siya, di ba? Magkakaroon siya ng pag nanganak, di ba? Magkakaroon ng pain, mga ganun, di ba?
9 months of pain.
Yeah. Yan ang kanyang tatanggalin.
Mawawala yung pain, pero magbubuntis.
Yung mga menstruation, di ba? Yung mga pagsakit ng babae, mawawala.
Yung mga irregular
mawawala yung mga sakit nila, mga ganon. Mayroon siya, pinakita niya, kinan niya rito.
Sa mga lalaki, mga prostate, hindi na magkaka-prostate.
Na-invento nga niya yung papaya. Pinakita niya sa akin Alam mo ba yung papaya kanya? May mga papaya juice siya, ginawa, papaya juice. Sabi niya, ito lang gamot sa COVID yan. Sabi niya, ito yan. Lahat ng sakit, tatanggalin yan. Yung papaya juice, saka yung yung dahon ng papaya at saka yung buto ng papaya. Yung buto. Sabi niya
bakit hindi niya i-ano yun?
ha?
Bakit hindi niya ipa-develop sa gobyerno? Para matapos na yung COVID-19 na yun.
Wala nang maniwala nga sa kanya, kaya naghahanap siya ng grupo na may... Nakita mo?
Maniniwala sa kanya.
Walang maniwala sa kanya. Pero may mga, ang dami namang invention. Tapos ano pa may mga inimbento niya? Moringa. Siya pala yung nagano diyan. Sabi niya, moringa, ang dami naman ginawa dito. Sabi niya.
Yung moringa talagang ano yan. Proven na yung moringa na yan. Kay sino yung senator hindi sila magkaanak. Sabi niya, malunggay lang ang katapat niya, nabuntis yung anak niya. Si senator, yung kapalit ni Pimentel, yung naghati sila ng taon.
Hindi lang yun ng Kaya sabi niya, yung
moringa.
Oo, may mga study siya na sa moringa.
May tanim ako ditong moringa eh.
Pinadala niya sa akin yung tanim ng moringa. Si Stewart.
Ano ang moringa dito, Brad? Madaling tumubo.
Kahit narito
Kahit yung sanga lang ipatong mo lang sa lupa, magkakadahon.
Sabi niya
ito. Binabaw nyo na ipapatong mo lang sa lupa. Magdadahon na siya.
Yeah, pinadala niya sa akin. Moringa. Moringa, nagtatanim siya.
Oo.
Nagtatanim siya ng moringa. Kita ya?
Ayan, andun na, pamasok na yun. Sa Facebook mo pinasok yung Brad?
Ha?
Sa Wow.
Sa Wow, pinadala ko sa Wow.
Oo.
Kita yung mga pinadala sa akin.
Yun. Si Marcos, this is high density moringa olipera.
Si Marcos, yung katabi niya, anak ni Marcos daw yan. Yan yung tama, yung
katabi ni Marcos?
Isa sa mga tagapagmana.
Tagapagmana ni Marcos?
Yan, tagapagmana dyan sa Philippines.
Oo.
Positive to. Na-diagnose ka, Ruben, daw, positive.
Oo.
Pero sabi niya, wrong daw eh. Sabi niya, no severe cough, no headache, looks like wrong diagnosis. Sabi niya. Pero lockdown siya. Kung quarantine dito sa Tagaytay.
Ito ba yung prinsesa, Brad?
Yan, prinsesa. Nakita mo, meron
yung napangasawa niya.
Merong sa akin.
Asan si dito? Si Stewart.
Yan, kita mo, ang laki-laking tao. Siya pinakamalaking tao dyan.
Baba ko eh.
Yung nasa gitna?
Yung kalbo.
Yung nasa gitna?
Yung pinakamalaking tao. Yan. Si Stewart.
Saan mo siya na-meet, Brad?
Dito, nag-zoom kami. Gusto niya mag-zoom daw. Kasama,
Zoom.
Kami ni Noel. Dito sa Zoom. Nag-meet ko. Ang tagal.
Marunong mag-Tagalog? Marunong mag-Tagalog?
Hindi. English ang siguro. Marunong na. Dahil kasi tagal na siyang nandiyan sa Philippines eh.
Namit din pala niya si Binay,
kasama niya si Binay. Binay, si Kwan, ninong niya sa kasal si Kwan, si Ramos, andyan. Saka si Enrile, andyan, di ba? Kita mo si Enrile? Tapos kasama niya si Kwan diyan, si Tumira sa kanya si itong si ang pangalan nito? Si Corpus, Victor Corpus. Nakita mo si Victor Corpus dyan?
Ito sa conference table?
Dalawa sila. Yung matanda na si Victor Corpus.
Victor Corpus.
Tumira daw sa kanya eh.
Sa bahay niya sa Mindanao.
Ha?
Sa Mindanao nakatira.
Ay!
Pero hindi siya high profile na milyonaryo, no?
Hindi, sabi ko nga sa'yo, malumano yung magsalita yan eh. Malumano siya. Ano siya?
Hindi siya low profile siyang mayaman.
Hindi.
Hindi kaya nung mayaman na high profile talaga na kilalang kilala sa mayaman.
Hindi nga siya hindi ba nakatago siya?
Low profile siya kaya walang maniwala sa kanya.
Nakatago.
Yan ang hirap sa mga Pilipino kapag mahirap ka hindi ka masyadong papansinin eh. Pero pagka umayaman, kay Ayala, ganyan, papakinggan ka nila.
Ay, hindi. Pag na-meet nga daw siya ni Ayala, di ba? Na-meet niya si Ayala, si mga yan. Ano sila eh. Talagang sila, yung gusto siyang i-meet. Pag na-meet mo siya personal, yung mga nakaka-meet niya personal, panay daw nakanga sila.
Pag siya nang nagsalita.
Emperor siya eh. Siya yung pinaka-emperor ng mga royal eh. Are you a royal family? If you're a royal family, I am your emperor, sabi niya.
Bakit mo naman sinabing antichrist siya, Brad?
Sinabi niya siya si Messiah eh.
Sinabi niya.
This Messiah. Madami yung pinakita sa aking mga kwan, yung mga kwan niya. Yung mga kung ano yung sabit-sabit niya sa katawan na yung pang-royal, dami no? Tapos siyempre may mabilis si Noel ang ginawa niya.
Competing in the initial, only the 1 billion plants per hectare. Optimal spacing was continued.
Dahil sa Moringa.
Legit po kaya siya, Kaed?
Ha? Alin?
Legit po kaya siya? Talagang totoo yung sinasabi niya?
Tingin
niyo po?
Parang legit naman siya eh. Kasi kita mo asawa niya di ba? Si Marites Salyantes. Tapos sila nakita mo naman yan. Nandun. Legit siya. Ang nga doon is tawag niya, paano niyang kukunin yung tawag niya, yung kayamanan ng nandiyan niya yung mga Chinese, kaya nga Chinese pumunta diyan binili yung buong bundok, di ba? Tapos tinibag. Tapos nilagay doon sa tinambak doon sa kasi
sa Sambales yun.
Siyempre yung nandun sa loob kinuha na ng China yon. Di ba? Alam ng China kung nasaan yung mga bumibili sila ng mga bundok sa atin, di ba? Kita mo mga Koreano din nagpupunta sa bundok. Punta ng Antipolo,
alam nila.
Kumukuha sila ng
Ibig sabihin yung kayamanan nasa bundok?
Nasa bundok daw.
Sino nagtago nun?
170 places daw yan. Siya daw nakakaalam. 170 places yan. Nasa vault, sabi niya, nakakalat sa buong Pilipinas.
Sino nagbaon yun, Brad? Yamashita?
Ay, Yamashita. Di ba si Yamashita?
Si Yamashita. Pero ang dami naman.
170 sabi niya. Sabi niya, 170. Actually, pwede natin siyang imbitahan Gusto nga niya makipag-meet Sabi niya, Ed, kailan tayo mag-meet ulit?
Di imbita mo dito sa natin.
Ha?
Kasi pwede siya kausapin ngayon?
Pwede. Pwede kausapin
Nga,
niya.
kausapin natin.
Ang problema sa... sige, pwede. The group would...
Kausapin natin ka, Alex.
Oh, sige.
Ma-meet mo yung Antichrist, ha?
Oo.
Si Noel. Kaso... Sige.
Ano ni Noel yan? Best friend niya?
Na-meet ni Noel to matagal na. Tapos biglang...
Okay, kausapin natin.
Ito.
Tanungin natin saan ba mga bundok na ano yan, meron ba dito yan sa San Fernando? Arayat?
Lahat ng bundok.
Kaya lang, may area lang. Di siguro naman...
Ay, pagka nagka-interest ka niya sa ano, doon sa ano niya, sa ginto niya, di ba? Treasure niya, di ba? Mangyari, kaparty ka na niya.
Oo.
Ba? Yan. Stewart. Padala natin si Stewart, ha?
Ano ka muna, introduce muna yung ano, this is Eduardo.
Hindi, kilala naman niya.
Kaya nga.
Pero mangyari, pag kinausap mo ito, ang tagal makipag-usap ito, abutin tayo ng ano yan. Anyway.
Pwede magtanong saan nakalagay yung mga...
Question and answer lang.
Siyempre, ang interest lang naman natin yung kaya ba?
Hindi. Tatanungin niya ako kung kailan, tatanungin niya kung kailan siya pupunta sa Saudi Arabia, no?
Hindi, imbitay mo. Sabi yung kay Prince Jawahir.
Hindi,
Prince Jawahir. Kay Princess Jawahir, sabi mo, Princess Jawahir, may kaibigan po akong Prince, ano din eh. Gusto niya pumunta sa Saudi Arabia. Di sponsor ni Princess Jawahir. Ba't tayo? Ba't wag? Tayo mo. Ha?
Baka mapuputan ng ulo yan sa Saudi, ah.
Hindi.
Ano?
Hindi.
Baka mapuputan ng ulo. Baka ano sabi.
Hindi naman siguro.
Hindi,
Bisita eh.
Hindi siya papugutan ng ulo.
Bisita siya eh.
Pero mahirap mag-introduce sa mga ano rito, sa mga
royal. At saka anong gagawin niya dyan?
Kasi ang dami kong inintroduce nun eh, kay Prince Fahad Jalawi, natanda mo? Lahat ng mga introduce ko sa kay Fahad, nag-take advantage sa kanya. Si Zamel, inutangan siya 10 million, di ba? Tapos mayroon galing Iraq, no? Galing Iraq, no? Na nagbenta ng drawing, binayaran din ni Prince, ano? Tapos yung may na-meet kami sa sa airport, no? Na nakita niya si Prince Fahad, yun, ano? Tapos hiniraman niya ng pera din, no? Nagbigay din si Prince. Ako lang tagabigyan ng pera noon eh. Kasi di ba, meron kami...
Brad, bakit hindi na lang siyang kunin natin ng sponsor sa mga project natin?
Prince Fahad.
Hindi, si Jalawi.
Si Prince Fahad.
Fahad bang...
Kanya sabi niya sa akin.
Yan yung anak ni, yan yung anak ni kaibigan ni King Abdulaziz.
Pinsan. Pinsan niya. Si
Jalawi. King Abdulaziz yan ba? Jalawi. Chief of staff niyan, di ba? So ano na yan, anak na yan? Si Fahad.
Ito. Sila mo.
Hindi yan si Fahad na... Hindi, yung Fahad yung sa Ministry of Sports.
Hindi. Iba yan. Si Fahad sa Ministry of Sports yung kasama namin noon. Na nagdala
yan? Sponsor ni Pierre Quiaton? Kaya lagi na sa ano yan eh. sa
Sponsor ni
palasyo.
Sponsor ni Jowo.
Si Pierre, di ba kailangan mo si Pierre Quaton, yung kasama kong German dyan sa ano?
Si Jowo.
Yan, sponsor niya si Pahad, yung commissioner ng sports.
Yung legend, pinadala niya dati nung. Dala namin yung legend.
The legend.
The legend. Kami nagdala eh. Dami kong pera na wala doon. Legend.
Alam mo, yung mga nagdadala ng mga celebrity, yung mga sports celebrity, kita mo si Tonggol, dahil nandinala niya si Bata dyan.
Hindi, dinala niya sa Bahrain.
Strandi. Dadali niya rin dito sa Saudi Arabia. Hindi nakakuha ng visa. Stranded sila sa Bahrain.
Hindi niya nadala rito.
Hindi nga nadala. Yung visa na kausap nila, hindi nakapag-produce. May ano yan, may royalty pa sila Bata rin. Sabi nila Bata, huwag mo na kaming bayaran, pauwi mo na lang kami. Stranded sila sa Bahrain pagkatapos sila mag-exhibit sa Bahrain. Tapos ilang araw sila sa hotel na hinihintay nila yung visa ng papunta sa Saudi Arabia.
Kasi
pag nakatungtong sila sa Saudi Arabia, may royalty pa silang tatanggapin. Sabi nila Reyes huwag mo na kaming bayaran, pauwi mo na lang kami.
Bata pa si Bata noon.
Ano na yan, kalat na sa Saudi Arabia na mag-exhibit sila Bata dyan, sila Django ba yun?
Django.
Mag-exhibition sila sa ang dami na audience na darating. Wala. Sino bang kausap ni doon? Tonggol?
Si Fidel.
Si Fidel.
Hindi niya ako kinausap eh. Si Fidel kausap niya. Si
Fidel.
Kasi ang istorya niyan, kausap namin yung GMA. GMA 7. Kami magdadala rito nakakita ng idea si Tonggol.
Tonggol.
Fidel. Ngayon sinusulot nila lagay doon sa sa kay Abu Unaif.
Naipasok nila, di ba?
Napasok naman nila Kaya yung GMA. Pero si
Pero
Darling,
nung nakapasok nawalan sila ng
ninang kasi ni nung anak ko si Jonah. Yung
Vice pasok nila pero wala silang kinita.
Vice President ng GMA. Naging kasosyo nga niya yun sa sa tawag nito sa yung.
Di ba magkakasama pa tayo nun diyan?
Naging kasosyo niya doon sa restaurant. Nag-aaway parati mag-asawa. Yung mag-asawa wala silang anak finance director ni Araneta, yung asawa niya. Tapos yung babae, vice president ng GMA. Ganun yan. Yung mag-asawang yan, naging kasosyo ng anak ko sa yung restaurant nila dyan sa Kwan. Maganda restaurant Habana restaurant. Kaso parati nag-aaway mag-asawa. Sabi ni Jonah Anyway, wala pa mag-usap muna tayo. Katoni.
Tapos, speaking of restaurant, Brad, yung Kabelen, di ba si Kabelen?
Si Kabelen, hindi naman sa kanya pala yung mga restaurant Si Ed, no? Yung
pero nagtatayo sila ng restaurant sa Jubail.
Marami siyang tinayong restaurant yan.
Hindi, ang nangyari yung sa Jubail kasi maraming kaibigan niya na nag-invest
Tama.
Tapos nung nung ano na, siyempre pag nag-invest ka, money down, di ba? So nung ano na, nung ini-start ng itayo, namatay, di ba? Namatay siya.
Hindi siya, Jubel. Dito siya sa dito sa may Kubar. Kasama si Ka Joey.
Hindi yung
Nag-invest
Kubar,
ng-
matagal na yung Kubar.
Hindi.
Pero ibig sabihin, magtatayo sila sa Jubail, magtatayo sila ng Kabalen.
Hindi si Jubel.
Magtatayo sila sa Kubar pa rin?
Ang ano doon, ang pangalan ng Japanese restaurant yun. Japanese
Tapos
restaurant.
marami na nag-invest, ano?
Kasama si Ka Joey doon sa investment, nag-invest doon.
Tapos namatay.
Oo, actually, inalok ako ni...
Ano nangyari noon nung namatay siya?
O di nagkaloko. Actually, may-ari noon, lahat noon, si Rafik. Indiano siya mayaman siya Siya pala lahat yung may-ari nung restaurant nitong si Ed, no? Siya yung nagpa-finance. Si Rafik, siya yung sponsor. Nung namatay siya, itong si Sister Ella, si Ka Ella, nilapitan nito, siya yung pinag-nakugan. Kaya nung akala namin kay Ed, hindi, sabi niya akin. Ginamit ko lang siya. So,
Ibig sabihin na involved din si Ella doon.
hindi, kinuko si Ella ngayon na pero ang problema ngayon, yung sponsor ng Saudi, nakialam na. So, problema yun. Pero ang nagpa-finance yun, Indiano.
Yun yung sasabi ni Sister Ella na kukunin siyang mag-handle nung
ang nagpa-finance ng mga restaurant ni Ed, no? Indiano. Pero mayroong sponsor na Saudi. Nakuha mo? Ngayon ang kinukuha ni Sister Ella ngayon na yan ang istorya niya.
Kinukuha si Ella, Sister Ella na mag-manage ng
Mag-manage, ngayon.
Yun yung kinukwento niya, di ba?
Siya yung gusto niyang i-con si Ella.
Pero parang kukunin ni Sister Ella
Inalok nga sa amin ni Ka Joey yan pinag-usapan namin ni Ka Joey. Inaalok niya na sumosyo kami. Hindi lang pero mahirap ang restaurant
Food yan food.
Di
ba magandang food?
Pero kailangan dyan kasi full-time ka. Restaurant
Oo nga, yun ang sabi ko sa Sister Ella Sister Ella, sabi ko, yung kaibigan kong may kape doon sa Australia.
Kailan may full-time ka
Ang laki, kaya lang, binenta niya. Tinanong, bakit binenta? Ang ganda-ganda. Matrabaho daw.
Matrabaho yan.
Sabi naman si Estrella, hindi, meron na akong crew dyan na may magmamanage, may gano'n. Ako ang overall lang sabi niya. Mahirap yun. Siyang maging overall, tapos may mga mataas ang overhead noon. Baka malugi siya.
Hindi, yung mahirap. Kasi
pagka marami kang tao na mga manager, mataas ang overhead mo. Babagsak ka. Sigurado yun.
Basta full-time ka, nakikita mo lahat, pwede.
Kaya ka magpo-full time para mabawasan din yung overhead mo sa management.
Pag hindi ka full-time, wala na.
Oo. Ayun ang sabi ni Sister Ella meron na raw siya mga manager na ilalagay dyan.
Usap tayo doon sa kwan. Andiyan, nakikinig si Ka Joey. Ka Tony, no? Yung agenda kasi, no? Kasi ngayon, may mga nag-approach sa akin mga ibang ibang tawag nito. Gustong sumama sa WOW, di ba? Isa yung mga taga Bahrain, di ba? Siyempre, ang problema kasi, yung nandito kami ni Ka Joey sa Saudi Arabia, nandiyan kayo, di ba? So naisip ang aking is gumawa na tayo ng chapter, di ba? Ka Tony? Hello, Katoni. Hindi marinig yata ni Katoni. Katoni.
Ano yan? Oo.
Hindi.
Mahina lang yung linya.
Ang aking suggestion dito para maasikaso natin yung mga ibang area na gustong sumama. Di ba, Bahrain, di ba? Magkaroon na sila sariling activity doon. Magkaroon tayo ng set ng officers doon. Parang ginawa natin sa Philippines.
Pwede rin.
Kasi ngayon may activity sila sa Bahrain tanong ng tanong sa akin. Sabi ko, hindi ko maasikaso dahil kasi nandun sila Kay Joey, nandito rin. Ang gawin natin, total, mayroon naman tayo SEC, di ba? Suportahan na lang natin sila, di ba? Magtayo silang chapter nila, di ba? Chapter, wow, Bahrain. Yan, baba. Wow, Hong Kong, di ba? Magkaroon sila sariling activity doon.
Pwede rin.
Ano lang natin sila. So, para hindi tayo, hindi puno yung kamay natin. Puno Kasi kung palalawakin mo talaga yung membership niya, di ba? Members, global yan Hey, Stewart. Yes.
How are you?
Fine. It's now, I think, 8:30 now in your area. Tony is here. He's actually our treasurer in the foundation and the vice president for vice chairman of the projects. This is Alex. He's one of our committee leader. Joey Espinosa is our chairman for the foundation.
What is this foundation?
In the Philippines.
It's what? In the Philippines.
Philippines. It is actually a OFW foundation. We are OFW foundation. Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. And that's the welfare of OFWs?
Yes. Yeah. Welfare of the OFW. Joey, pakita mo mukha mo.
Yeah, I've studied that area quite a bit. Interesting.
This Romeo De La Torre is a songwriter.
Who's a songwriter?
This one, Romeo De La Torre. Kabawi, pakita mo.
Hello, good evening. I'm Wawi Romeo De La Torre. I'm a composer.
You're a songwriter.
Yes, I'm a songwriter.
One of my best friends is Heber Bartolome.
Okay.
Bartolome,
Yeah. You know him?
Yes. But not personal.
I sent him crispy pata for his wife's birthday today. And I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, Joey's eating crispy pata.
Yeah. I eat. Romeo, my wife used to be a concert pianist, my late wife. She went to Berkeley.
Okay.
And she was a composer.
Okay. That's good.
She composed a thing for the 150th birthday of Rizal.
Okay. That's
Cool.
What
nice.
do you do? What sort of music do you do?
Pop and gospel song.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I made a discovery this week, actually in the past couple of days, that ivermectin and papaya seed are almost similar. so much so that I'm doubting the origins of ivermectin. I found that ivermectin can cure dengue. Papaya seed and papaya leaf juice can cure dengue. Malaria, all the same similar things. So it's very interesting. The history of ivermectin is very strange because it was invented and then donated, and the similarities to the two compounds are so alike that I'm thinking that they may have synthesized the active ingredients from papaya leaf and papaya seed and turned it into a drug, but said it was from something else. Merck was involved with it, but both of them steal sperm. Okay, both papaya seed and that takes sperm, as does the vaccine, and that's because sperm, our own reproductive fragments, both female and male, are a massive and major part of our immune systems. Okay, they don't know that. That's why they're talking about vaccines, and they're talking, does it affect a woman's menstrual period? Because they're getting lots of reports, and it does. The same way that if a woman gets sick, her menstrual period can be delayed as well. Because what happens is, say you have a temperature, those things will vibrate. White blood cells will go in and grab them and will be deployed around the body to fight whatever infection that you're having. So when you get the shot, you have an artificial infection in your body. It does the same thing, but it comes back after the cycle. None of this is permanent. I'm going on a bit, but basically, it's very important. One of the issues is also, I was working today on looking to see if they have found a mode of action, a mechanism of action, which means is, why do these things work? And they do not know why ivermectin works, but I do know. I know that what's happening is that both ivermectin and papaya seed, what happens is both of them are antiparasitics, where they will remove parasites from the body. And parasites don't move enough to trigger a white blood cell response. Okay. Now, dengue and COVID both were engineered to lay dormant in an area of the cell called the endoplasmic reticulum. And what happens is, while they're growing, they don't move. They sit there and they grow and they grow and they grow. And that's why the incubation period is 14 days or up to that point in time. So what's happening is, when you take ivermectin or you take papaya leaf or papaya seed, it hypervibrates anything in the cell, and it causes white blood cells to come in and grab it and attack it. Okay, and that is the mechanism of action. Okay, and I have a paper. Hold on, I'm going to send this paper to all of you. Hold on.
Are you going to?
Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm just going to send this in the chat so you can read it later. Right. But it on everything that I talk about, unless it's original thought, I can back up what I'm saying with peer-reviewed studies.
Okay.
Hold on. I don't know how to get this thing to work. Hold on. Chat. Hold on. There it is. So you guys can look at that when you want, but understanding all of this key to getting a cure, it's very important. Parasites, because of ivermectin and because of papaya seed. And I actually took ivermectin 2 days ago, and I found parasites when I went to the bathroom that were clearing. And I'm finding, I did a survey and I looked, and I found that almost every major organ can be infested with parasites. I even found that diabetes can be caused by parasites. So the reason why they are saying no to ivermectin in every single way is it appears as though one of the major causes of illness in all of us are parasites. So that if the whole world took ivermectin, which is a single dose, one pill, and that's it, a lot of illnesses would be eradicated. So, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I put together arguments based on a whole series of different things that come to a conclusion and everything else. But there is a cure on both these sides. The one thing with papaya leaf is that I've been working on that. I've been working with that for about 5 years now. And it has an enormous enormous value. But the crop in and of itself could be grown by everybody. So in other words, every single person could be growing it at their house. And the leaves, which are picked and then ground to remove the juice, and then the leaf powder is dried and can be smoked. So there's no waste. So everyone could be growing it. There could be processing centers where they could go and sell it. So the leaves and all of that could be just like money for people, and then export it all over the world. What we do is we take the juice, and we found a bag that was divided up into sections that you pour the juice into the bag, and you get 24 ice cubes out of it, of that. And so something like that can be sold all over the world in freezer containers and different things like that. But it has enormous value with both of these things. So how can I help your foundation? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Bro Ed. Hello.
Hi, Tony? Tony.
Hi.
Which
Yes,
Pimentel?
yes.
Which Pimentel are you? Are you related to?
From the north.
You're not
From
related
the north.
to the senators.
Distant relative.
Are you Ilocano?
Ilocano, yeah.
From where?
Actually, I'm from Isabela, but my father is from Ilocos.
My father-in-law was from Pangasinan, but the family was from Ilocos. Kiawit Salientes.
Okay.
And all. But what do you do? What is your work?
I'm a structural engineer.
You're a structural engineer. Interesting.
Structural engineer in Manila. Yeah, I have a small firm, and yeah, I was interested when you say you're a Jew. You're a Jew.
Okay.
And yeah, I trace my roots. We're from Portugal also, Sephardic Jew.
Okay. Let me explain. Okay.
Okay.
All of you, okay, in the 1300s and 1400s, there was conversions. some forced and some voluntary. And they move from being Jewish to being Catholic. All right. But blood is blood. Okay. And the Hebrew people, 6,000 years old. And just because you change your religion doesn't mean that your blood changes. I call it the parable of the Jewish Cocker Spaniel. Okay. And I basically do a riddle and I say, what do you get when you take a Cocker Spaniel and made it with a poodle? What religion is a puppy? It's a cockapoo. It's a cockapoo. All right? Because it's half Cocker Spaniel and half poodle. Whatever their philosophy is a whole nother story. Okay? But but the people that colonized South America, Central America, and the Philippines, I believe they were formerly Jewish. Okay? So it's my belief that all of you are either Indijo, Hebrew de Indijo, Hebrew de Negrito, Hebrew de Sangre in that mix. Okay? You're not Jewish. You're not Jewish, but you have Hebrew blood. You could say that your birthright was stolen, but it's a delicate matter. But what appears to have happened is I'm Jewish. My father-in-law was Undersecretary of Defense of the Philippines. Okay, he was also a tribal leader of the country. Okay, like the big Datu. And it appears that and he was the head of the Masons. And it appears as though my father, I knew my father was a Mason as well, but it appears that he was a very big Mason as well. But it appears as though that my marriage to my wife was a tribal reunification. Do you understand that? Okay. And you know, someone said, "Oh, you know, you're not Philippine blood." I am Philippine. You are my blood because you have Hebrew blood, and you have Indijo blood, and you have Negrito blood, and you have Sangli blood, and some Spanish blood, of course. But the people that came here were conversos, and same thing with South America and Central America, and all of that. But mind you, I'm not religious. My religion is truth, and what I try to do is, if I can find something in the Bible or the Torah or the Quran or any of these other things that can be scientifically sound, wonderful. Okay, wonderful. But if I find things that are not scientifically sound, I have an obligation to speak up. And I'm very good at it. And my work, if we're able to package it properly, we can literally help everybody in a whole number of different areas and everything. But I'm excited to talk to you guys. Do you have any questions about the Jewish thing?
No, I'm okay. Yeah, the information afterward.
What's that?
Thank you for the information that you gave.
Yeah. Again, with everything that I say, I invite anyone to ask questions or to challenge me on any of the different points I make with this, because I'm interested in it stimulates me, and I'm interested in what everyone has to say.
Okay, there's one question. When I was in New York, When I was in New York, I was involved with the Kabad, the Hasidic Jewish group.
Yep. Yes.
When I tried to enter their group, actually there's a lot of questions that they ask me.
Yep.
One question is because I wanted to study Kabbalah.
Yep.
Yeah. One question that they gave me is they said me, what is darkness?
What is darkness?
Yeah. What is darkness?
Uh-huh. And what did you say?
Of course, some would think it's the absence of light, or yeah. Basically, that's the answer, that it's absence of light. But they said no, it's different. You know what they told me?
What?
Darkness is compressed light.
Darkness is compressed light.
Compressed light, yeah.
I would say darkness is the absence of light.
But for them, it's a compressed light, because
Yeah.
their philosophy is actually I did appreciate them when they told me their philosophy, because it says in the beginning there was light, and the light has no because God initially his very nature is to give, but no one can receive the lightness. So he compressed himself to create darkness, just to receive his light.
Yeah, darkness is the absence of light. Okay. I'm just remember we talked about truth. Okay. All right.
Because there's one because in the UK now, you want to scientifically there's the blackest element now. The blackest element, maybe you could Google it in the internet. They make now the blackest element, and the blackest element is absorbing 99% of light.
Yeah, again, I haven't studied it. I saw that briefly. But it didn't have the significance to me. It's like, I don't understand why they're shooting rockets up to space and spending all that money on that stuff when we get so much suffering in the world here.
They were trying to explain the Big Bang.
Well,
the singularity.
How about cure people of COVID? How about cure people of parasites? How about educate everyone? How about take care of everybody? I mean, for me, a lot of the religious stuff is repetitive ritual, where they just repeat the same thing over and over again. And I don't see the value in that, unless you're going to be meditating. Like, say you have rosary beads, and if you're meditating and you're going through the beads, and in your mind you're wandering, okay, searching for answers and asking God or whatever for advice or whatever it may be, then repetitive ritual to me is nothing more than just saying stuff over and over again. I'm looking for meaning. I'm looking to have a discussion about things that make us think about the world around us, or what's going on, or how we treat our families, or any of these different types of things. It's much different from me. I'm very simple. I went to Hebrew school. Okay.
Yeshiva.
Yeah, and I got thrown out of every single class because I was disruptive. Okay, but my father was vice president of the temple, and he signed the check. Okay, and he was president of the temple. So no choice and everything else. But yeah,
Yeah, right. You're right. Yeah.
I learned. Here's another thing. I learned how to read Hebrew, okay, but I never translated it, and I really couldn't speak it, and I didn't understand what they were saying. So to go to temple, it's like being Catholic, and the whole service is in Latin.
You're right.
You don't understand what the hell they're saying.
Yeah.
And all, but again, a lot of my work is based on the alleviation of suffering. How do we find out the real answers to things and spread it to everyone? But the problem I have, and I go to the Chabad here. I used to go to the Chabad here.
Yeah, Kabad, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Chabad here. And they would wanted me to go all the time and everything else. But I went just to take it in. And I'd sit there and dwell in my mind and all of that. But to talk about science and things that are important to me, that are important to the world, for them, the book is the book is the book. And if it's not in the book, then it doesn't exist.
Yeah, they're quite orthodox, right?
Very. But
Very orthodox, yeah.
But they welcome Filipinos who want to convert. They're different. Chabad is different. I like them. Okay, they're kind and all of that, but they're all very much set in their ways, and they're waiting for the Messiah. Okay, but if the book is cast in stone, then the Messiah is never going to come, because if everything's already written, then they have nothing left to learn. Does that sound
Makes sense? Yeah.
sound good? Yeah. It's like fighting with a wall. I mean, very.
Yeah, but they say that every text has 70 different meanings.
I don't know. I mean, look, for them, they've gone into some sort of a mystical state, meditative state, to where it's called devekwas, okay?
Devekwas, yeah, clinging.
Yeah, and I do not doubt its sincerity, okay? I believe that there are connections. I have to bring that out. I did work in that area, okay, before, back maybe 7 or 8 years ago. But it's not an easy path. It's not something where you can make a concrete argument out of, and it tends to sound somewhat unbalanced, okay, at times. But I do believe that you can cleave to God, okay, or the spirits, okay, which again will remain undefined. I have an explanation for it, but I've done a lot of work in dreams, like people appearing in dreams. I'll give you. I used to talk about this about 10 or 11 years ago. John Nash. Remember the movie A Beautiful Mind? It was with Russell Crowe. It was about a professor.
Yeah. The autistic guy.
Okay, yeah.
Crowe, yeah. The great economic, right? He got a Nobel Prize for that.
Right. They did a documentary on him.
Beautiful Mind. The Beautiful Mind.
Called The Brilliant Madness. And they were interviewing one of his colleagues from Princeton, a guy named Donald Newman. And Newman relates a story. And he basically said that he says, I was working on a problem and I was trying to solve it, because he was a mathematician as well. And I couldn't, and I couldn't, and I couldn't. One night I went to sleep and I dreamt. I did not dream directly of the solution to the problem. Rather, I dreamt that I met Nash and I asked him the problem and he gave me the answer. When it came time for me to write the paper, I gave Nash the credit. It was not my solution. I could never have thought about it myself. And I found a woman who wrote an article on it, and she said, I was sitting next to Nash at a dinner party, and I related the story from the documentary, and he laughed and he said, he gave me credit in his paper as though I solved it when it was his dream. Now, Newman, he wasn't, this is no circus sideshow, and Newman is world-renowned as well. What was that, who was that person that came into his dream and solved that problem, solved that equation? That's the closest example of a spirit to me. Plus, my father died when I was 17, and I had repeat dreams. I had repeat dreams over time, that I'd go into a room and my father would be sitting there, and I would say, where have you been? Why did you leave me? Just like it was him. And so I'm starting, I started to give some thought as to whether dreams were alternative universes or certain clarifying centers and all of that. But that's the way I would approach these types of things. I also have not delved into meditation. Okay. And I think that meditative states have a certain validity. And I haven't looked at it, but I think the Indian religions, the Hindu religion, and all of that, in Buddhism, seem to have something to them. It's just that, you know, we as Westerners have kind of been blocked away from all that stuff and everything.
Hey, you're right.
And are you Catholic?
Born again.
You're born again. I know.
Evangelical. Yeah, evangelical.
Are you a Messianic Jew?
Yeah.
You're a Messianic Jew.
Yeah.
Well, again, my belief is that everyone who's Hebrew, Indijo, Negrito, Sangli, South American,
Yeah.
there needs to be a hybrid mix to accommodate the combination of belief. You understand?
Yeah.
That's I'm in a strange position, because I sit in the middle. I'm a Datu. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. I am the Datu. I was given a thing saying I'm the Datu of Maharlika.
Datu, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay. You know Maharlika?
Maharlika, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, that was the previous name of the Philippines, right? Maharlika.
Right. And I have different names. Like I'm Datu Makbabulig to the tribes, Datu Makabulig, Datu Salaman, a number of different things. But ideally, it's about finding the truth about faith and God and what God intended for us from a practical perspective. You're a structural engineer.
I'm a structural engineer.
So you understand systems.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. Have you ever seen anything that moves that's not lubricated?
Move. Oh, there's friction.
Yeah, but anything that moves or constantly rubs up against each other, you need lubrication.
Of course, yes. Like machines, right?
Anything. Look at your bones.
Unless that would create friction.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You would abrade things. They would disintegrate against each other. One of the main, the last 7 years has been spent in developmental biology, specifically reproduction. Okay, and the actual systems. And I am debunking Genesis 3:16. Genesis 3:16 says that women need to listen to men because they tempted Adam with the apple. Okay.
Yeah.
And literally and they're supposed to suffer through childbirth. Okay. So women are supposed to suffer through childbirth. It's ordained by God because it's in
pain birth,
the Bible,
pain during birth.
and they're supposed to listen to men. Okay. Now, I use a kind of a riddle, and I ask questions, and I'm going to take you through this. Don't be offended. All right. I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain painless childbirth. Okay. First, you're married, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And obviously you've been with a woman. Have you ever gotten a woman wet?
Yeah, sometimes.
Huh? In other words, before sex or when you start sex, you massage a woman in order to hydrate the whole area, to make lubrication, so the baby, the penis, the baby can go in, right? Yes?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if God gave women that mechanism that you vibrate, that causes the whole uterine matrix to be lubricated so the baby can go in, why wouldn't God have given women the same mechanism so the baby can come out? Watch this. I'm going to share my screen. And let me show you this. Can you enable the screen sharing?
Alex, I think Alex is the co-host. Alex, are you there? Oh, Alex is out. Alex.
Okay, hold on.
But they say that pleasure is in the pain.
Nonsense. Nonsense. What you're supposed to do, I have a video of an animation from an MRI of a woman having an orgasm under an MRI. Okay.
Okay.
And see my hands? It shows the uterus going during an orgasm. It shows the uterus going.
Okay. Yes. Vibrates.
Like, okay. And I do work with the Sultanate of Sulu. Okay. And I work with the Muslims too. And I'm sitting with a general from the MNLF, who's also the home minister of the Sultanate of Sulu. And he looks at, I'm showing him the video, and he looks at it, and he says to me, could that be pushing the baby out? And I said, wait a second. And I'm looking at it and I said, oh my God, he's right. So I go to the computer, and I type in orgasm during childbirth. And I found a survey that said that 6% of women in the survey said they spontaneously orgasmed during labor, during delivery, or whatever it may be. And I found an incidence of it. And sure enough, the problem is that once the water breaks, there's no way to replenish the lubrication in the whole thing. Okay, the only way to do it is by orgasms. And God gave women multiple orgasms, and the reason for it is to deliver the baby. So what God intended, okay, in the Garden of Eden, where there were no doctors, is that a woman is supposed to, when labor sets in, a woman's supposed to massage that area to hydrate the uterine matrix and always lubricate it. And then every so often, she has an orgasm that pushes the baby down the birth canal. And that's it. You don't need C-sections. You don't need hospitalization. You don't need episiotomies. You don't need suffering. 1 out of 8 women have postpartum depression, and it's because of the pain in childbirth, because it's not natural. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So do you realize that if the whole world understood that, especially now, when all these women are afraid to go to the hospital and they're having babies at home with terrible, terrible agony and pain, if they knew this, then imagine the result. On top of that, if you saw a baby, a newborn baby, getting swallowed by a snake, okay, what would you do? You'd kill the snake, right?
Of course, yeah.
The vaginal canal is just like the
You're
inside
right.
of the snake. And the baby can be stuck there for 6 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours, with the mother screaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the babies are being abused in the womb. Okay? They feel pain. They feel fright. That's the cause. That's one form of the whole spectrum of autism and mental illness. Is the baby doesn't know. The baby's hanging out in an ocean for nine months, and all of a sudden he gets jammed into like the mouth of a snake and has no idea that this is not the future. I tell a parable, and I say, you got a girl who's valedictorian of her class, and she goes to medical school and she becomes a specialist, and she goes to New York and to a conference, and she's walking down the street, and all of a sudden 6 guys drag her into an alley and beat her for 18 hours. Is she the same person right after that? Absolutely not. She has massive post-traumatic stress disorder. The same thing with these babies. Make sense? Oh. You froze. Oh, there you are. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. That's
It's a nice observation, actually.
Well,
by breaking the uterus with the create lubricant. Yeah.
and
It makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense. And the beauty of it is, a Muslim told me.
They knew the secret, huh?
No, he didn't. It was obvious. He looks at the video, and when he saw the video, he looked at me and he said, "Couldn't that be pushing the baby out?"
Oh,
and it's
okay, yeah.
It's obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obvious. So that's let's say that I have information on a whole number of different things that are true, that could change the dynamic of the world. All right. And it's not hocus pocus. It's not a money-making thing. On the contrary, it is something that will save everyone. It'll save women from postpartum depression. It'll save all the whole spectrum of autism and mental illness and anxiety created in the womb by the damage caused by the fright. I view, they're calling Asperger's syndrome. It's the wrong name. It's really catatonia. It's varying degrees of catatonia caused by abject fright in the womb of the child, by the child. That's what we have going on and all. But it can be eradicated, and the costs can be eradicated. You know, the best thing in the world. Imagine this. What's the most important thing in the world for you? Having healthy grandchildren. You know, and for your kids, having healthy children. And I believe that the birth practice is a big part of it. So hopefully you guys are connected to a group of people around the world who, if we can have these types of sessions where I can explain things that sound reasonable, that we can get it out in a way where we're not going to get sabotaged and everyone's going to understand. Because let me say this to you. Once you know this information, in my mind, if you had a baby any other way, it's tantamount to child abuse. For everyone who's anti-abortion, you've got to be anti-unlubricated birth. Because a baby, if you value a baby in the womb, you've got to value the baby during the whole time. So arguments like that can turn people around from their view. And remember something, this is a very private thing. This is not something you do out in the open, but the way people give birth should change, and the result to the world will be enormous, really enormous. The other area with regard to conception that I've done an enormous amount of work on is the value of the fluids produced by a man and a woman. And both of those matter. We're told that there's a single sperm theory, and that a single sperm penetrates the egg and tells it what to do out of 350 million, and that's all that matters. And it's not true. It's not true. You know, women 35 and older couples have a higher rate of children with birth defects. Are you aware of that? Okay. What happens to women, some women, as they get older? Vaginal dryness. And what happens to some men as they get older? Less of a discharge when they ejaculate. Okay? And so the less fluids in the conception, the higher the risk of having missing places, which are called deletions. So you want to maximize the flow of fluids during the conception period, okay, from both the male and the female. Now, in the Jewish religion, do you grasp what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm learning a lot, actually.
What's that?
Thank you for the information. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're learning. Good.
Yeah. Especially in the birth.
Good.
Pangs.
I'm very encouraged. I'm very encouraged that your foundation is interested in learning. Okay, and it's not. And it's not. And it's not just a tax write-off. Again, in the Jewish religion, they have, do me a favor, Tony, move your camera up so I can see your face.
Yeah.
Better. Thank you. Okay. In the Jewish religion, they have something called the mikvah. Okay, and the mikvah.
Yeah.
What's you've heard of it?
For the women.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Now, in the mikvah, what happens is, for 12 days every month, an Orthodox couple is abstinent. The 5 days of the period, and then they count 7 days from when the bleeding stops. And then she takes a ritual bath. And then right after she takes the ritual bath, the party begins and they can have sexual relations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now, the bath, other than cleanliness, has no significance. Okay, between you and I, it has no significance. Okay, it's just a ritual. But the 12 days of abstinence gives a buildup in the epididymis. The epididymis can hold up to 1 billion sperm. Okay, and the ovaries have reproductive fragments. Okay, I really need to use screen sharing. Can we turn screen?
Alex, can you allow Stewart to be the host?
Well, I think all you have to do is allow screen.
Ed, is that? How can we do that, Ed?
Yeah.
I
Hold
think Brother Ed can allow.
Share
Brother
screen.
And only to accept the incoming.
Oh, no, it's okay. Stewart, no, it's okay.
Okay, hold on.
That's interesting, because they
Okay.
say that the mikvah right now, what's happening right now, is the same as the waters that destroy the world, as per Kabad.
I lost you guys. Hold on.
No, it's okay. You're still in. You're still in, Stewart.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. I can see.
You can see my
it.
screen. Okay.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Okay, let me show you. All right. I have a massive library, okay, in between 70 and 100 different areas. And hold on. Okay. See this right here? These are female fragments.
Okay.
This is an ovum, and this is in the ovary. And basically, it takes 60 days for these fragments to enter into this. And then once it enters into this, then you ovulate, and the egg goes into the fallopian tube and enters into the uterus. Okay? And it looks like this. Like that. So inside of this are zillions and zillions of fragments that are inside the egg. Okay.
Yes.
And what I was talking about before, when we get sick, these will vibrate. White blood cells will go in and capture them. And then the white blood cells will police the body with these, and these will be fighting any of the pathogens. And I'll give you for instance, hold on. Bodybuilders. Hold on. Okay, see these people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Super
This is what's going on. when you lift weights, you tear your muscle fiber.
Yeah.
And what happens is it produces heat. Now, all of these guys take anabolic steroids.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and when they take anabolic steroids, the anabolic steroids artificially hypervibrate the epididymis in the man, which is the storage center of the sperm. That's where the sperm sit and wait. They lay dormant until vibrated, and then kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. But when you take anabolic steroids, it hypervibrates what's in the epididymis. White blood cells go in and grab them, break them down, and I'll show you why they break them down. But they end up getting fragments from them, and then they rush to the parts of the body that have heat because of the torn muscle, and they lay the fragment in between the torn muscle, and that's how these guys grow to be monsters.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And it works for
It's impossible for it. Yeah.
Yep,
So
hold
it
on.
should be a process actually.
Yeah, hold on. And see females as well?
Yeah.
Maybe you need the help of a big, strong man.
Yeah. Females, the same thing. But the fragments, they don't know about these. They don't know that these are the counterparts of male sperm. Okay. I solved a major problem in science, and I'll show you this. Now, do you see this? This is a pathogen of undetermined nature. This is a white blood cell called the microphage. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn this on. This is the bloodstream. These are red blood cells. This is going to
Okay.
vibrate. Watch what happens when it vibrates.
Huh?
The white blood cell will grab it. Will grab the vibrating thing, bring it into the white blood cell, and neutralize it, neutralize the infection. Okay. So that means that white blood cells are triggered by vibration. You agree with that? Okay.
Yeah. Because it wiggles, right?
Right. Okay. Now watch this. This is a BBC video. I've watched every single documentary I possibly could in these fields, and I've taken little clips out of them so I can explain it to guys like you. Okay. Now, whatever this guy says, he's talking about a war and all sorts of other things. It's nonsense. Okay. But watch the description.
Foreign to a woman's body.
The sperm is foreign to a woman's body.
Unwanted invaders. Perfect for an ambush.
The egg.
White blood cells attack the sperm.
The white.
Okay. Now, it's not really like that. This is what it's really like. Can you see this?
Yes.
This is a white blood cell. These are the sperm heads.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now watch this. Do you see this right here? See how dark these are inside of this?
Yeah,
I'm going to turn this on.
Permit.
Right, and now I'm going to turn it on and watch what happens. See how it dissipated? Each one of the sperm heads was dissolved.
Oh, okay. Chemically.
Watch. See? It happens inside the head of the sperm, inside the white blood cells. Okay, now, and I'll show you this again. This is before, and this is after. All right, or just shortly.
Yeah.
Shortly thereafter. Okay. Now, this process is called phagocytosis by microphage. All right. And phagocytosis means eat. And so, and the macrophage is the white blood cell.
Okay.
So it actually means eating by white blood cell. And you see this right here. Let me just grab this.
Yeah. No. Wow. Really interesting. Huh?
Eisenbach. Okay, hold on. This is Eisenbach, a guy in Israel who I tried to talk to and give him the answer, but he didn't want to know. I swear to God, like living in the Twilight Zone.
It makes sense, huh?
Look, we just started, you know, I met Ed the other day. But understand something. You guys have an obligation to scream nonsense or BS if it doesn't ring correct. Very, very important. Because, again, could I be wrong in certain things? Yeah, on certain things I could be wrong. 4 times I made big mistakes. Each one of them led me to much greater advances. So I'm very interested in what everyone has to say. Okay, hold on. Now, he asked the question, why are sperm cells phagocytized by leukocytes in the female genital tract? And he says, when mammalian sperm cells enter the female genital tract, many of them are attacked and phagocytized by leukocytes in epithelial cells. Although this intriguing phenomenon is known for almost 5 decades, there's no satisfactory explanation for it. What he says is this fast removal probably prevents severe inflammation that could have been caused by necrotic product of sperm cells that remain functionless in the tract. He thinks it's a clearance operation.
So it has his own sanitary.
Huh? And he's wrong. He's completely
It has his own sanitary system. Yeah.
I don't hear you. Say that again.
I was saying, Stewart, that the body has its own sanitary system of cleaning itself.
No, he's wrong. That's not it. Okay, that's not it. Let me show you what's going on. His is just a guess. Okay, what's actually happening is, hold on 1 second. These guys in Virginia who I've been in contact with, I sent them a letter. They spent 14 years with X-ray crystallography looking to see what's inside the head of the sperm. And I sent them a letter, and this is the description of it. I said, your work and that of your team has more significance than you're aware of. I said, they found mechanisms. They found a spiral mechanism inside. Hold on. They found they found these inside the head of the sperm. You see these?
Yeah. What are those?
These are in the head of the sperm. So when you dissolve the head of the sperm, you unlock these fragments. These fragments are the corresponding fragments to the ones that I showed you in the ovum.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's why the head of the sperm releases these. These appear to be super antibodies, but they're our own sperm fragments. That's why when a woman gets sick, her period's delayed. That's why when women are getting the vaccine, their menstrual cycles are delayed, because the fragments are being taken to fight illness.
Ah, okay. Mhm.
The fragments are being taken to fill in the tears of a bodybuilder.
Wow, wow,
See? Right here.
wow.
That's why
Mhm.
sperm cells are phagocytized by leukocytes in the uterine tract. And check this out. No matter where sperm goes in the body, it's phagocytized by leukocytes. That means that when we have orgasms, men and women, men especially, women too, because it affects their fragments as well, and we vibrate during that process, our own body is capturing and breaking them down and using them around the body to replace bad stuff. Make sense?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the wonder of creation.
Yeah, I have studies that show that orgasms, all right, improve health. Okay,
Wow.
so if we put together a library, if we hire a librarian to work with us, okay, or students or whatever it is, for every single thing that I come up with, I will have backing in peer-reviewed papers that would have to be relitigated to disprove what I said. Okay, so it's really a very good thing. But we need, the reason we have 350 million sperm is because we need enough of these to fill out the entire genome. Now, what happens is this. Okay. See this right here? This is the baby B at 5 or 6 weeks. Okay. A is 5 weeks right here. The umbilical cord doesn't exist until 5 or 6 weeks. So how does a baby get nourishment? It gets it through a structure called the yolk sac. And this is the yolk sac. This is the primitive baby right here, mostly made up of the female fragments. And what happens is during the first 5 or 6 weeks, the white blood cells in the uterus enter into this. And I have a theory that in these right here, these fragments are female-derived male fragments and female-derived female fragments. They represent the genetic line of the mother and the mother's mother and the mother's father.
Yeah.
So these all pair up. And so you're getting pairings of male, female. And let me show you this right here. Okay. Inside of this, these look at the movement inside of this. And this is supposed to be before the sperm goes in. These female fragments are all pairing up into females, but they're pairing up into female-derived females and female-derived males that represent the mother's genetic line. And watch this. Wait, watch this.
Okay.
See this fluid right here?
Yeah.
It ends up in the egg. In school, they taught us. They said that the the shell of the egg is impenetrable except to the single sperm. And once the single sperm goes in, it locks out everything else in all of this. Remember that? Okay. Nothing else matters. The female fluid doesn't matter and the male fluid doesn't matter. What's this right here? Why is this bisecting the egg? You know why?
Yeah.
That's a white blood cell. That's a white blood cell transmitting male fragments into the ovum.
Ah, wow. Okay. I thought it was the sperm cell going inside that transmit everything.
No, this one right here, this one right here. The first single sperm plays a role, but it doesn't play all roles.
Okay.
Okay, it doesn't
Okay,
play
makes
all
sense, yeah.
roles. And so a lot of the stuff they say is nonsense. It's just nonsense.
Okay.
Think about it for a second.
Yeah.
You have sex. You deposit your semen into the woman. The semen goes into the uterus. The uterus closes. It doesn't open for 9 months. Where'd the semen go? Where'd the fluids go?
Hello.
To make the baby.
Yeah.
Watch this. Hold on. Look at this.
And now, inside the vagina, sperm face the first of many mortal dangers. The walls of a...
First, sperm is a super colony, like honeybees. They work together. Look at them. You see this thing on the outside here? I believe that that's what the placenta is made of. Okay, I think what's going on the sides is creating the placenta. I'm not certain, but it's got to be made from this material.
Woman's vagina are coated in acid to protect her from infection by bacteria. But it's lethal sperm. Within minutes, the walls are littered with the corpses of millions. And within an hour, most of the 500...
These are white blood cells, okay? And these will end up going into the baby and making the baby. Now, when this is evolution, when two female fragments meet a complementary male fragment, they will automatically unwind to accommodate the opposite sex fragment. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, all that we saw in here, all these pairings. Wait. Okay. All these pairings in here that are female derived will automatically unwind if males come in. And that's how you get the split. And because they're female derived males and female derived females and male derived males and male derived females, that's why your grandchild can look like you.
See. Wow. Yeah, I was just wondering what happens to the rest of the sperm. So this is the answer, actually.
Because of vibration, the same thing as a pathogen. When the body sees sperm, the white blood cells come out and grab it, no matter where it is.
That's why probably I've been also doing some meditation. There's this vibration sound that they're making during meditation, and they said that they're healing their bodies through this vibration.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. I've done a lot of work. I'll get an idea, and then I'll spend 24 or 48 hours, almost constant, finding everything I can find. And I'm looking at vibration to cure Parkinson's disease and strokes and multiple sclerosis and all these other things. Vibration is everything. Okay. Vibration is you when you don't use the vibration, you harm babies and you harm mothers. God gave us vibration.
Actually, His word, actually, God's word is vibration, right?
Yeah. Everything's vibration. Everything's vibration. And vibrating things causes them to lubricate, self-lubricate, I think.
Makes sense, huh? Galing, huh?
Yeah. It's, I have a term called artificial complexity. And I will tell you that most science that I've seen is artificial complexity. It's a lot of it's nonsense. There are certain people that I respect. This is one of them.
I have described it. So
this is Linus Pauling. Okay, and I'll tell you this: vitamin C. He was absolutely correct on vitamin C. And so all of that has got to be revisited. They made fun of this guy. This guy won 2 Nobel Prizes. He is brilliant, tremendous. And they made fun of him. They ridiculed him. Vitamin C high doses of vitamin C can fight off cancer, can do all sorts of other things. I'm working with something called hyaluronic acid, okay? And hyaluronic fragments that are the essential fragment. And I have him confirming my work. Okay, in a previous lecture she gave. Listen to what he says about the complementary nature of genes.
I had described it several years earlier, saying that the gene consists of 2 mutually complementary molecules, which when separated, each could act as a template for the synthesis of the other.
When he said that, and I saw this, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago, it just dawned on me, the complementary nature of all of this. But we can instruct everyone. Now, getting back to the mikveh, we talked about the mikveh.
The mikveh, yeah.
Now, they abstain for 12 days every month. Well, if you haven't ejaculated in 12 days, you've got a massive buildup. So their ritual, which they don't know, they're not aware of the science behind this, okay? But I am confirming the science. And what I am saying is that I believe that after the 7 days, it coincides with human estrus. You know how dogs go into heat? I believe that women go into heat on that after that 7th day from the period. And then they have sex. They both emit a vast amount of fluids that end up in the uterus, which will give you a much better baby because it'll be much fuller, because it will have that much more fluid. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Okay. Now, watch this. Morning sickness.
Morning sickness, okay.
Ever see someone who's a drunk and they're going through DTs, withdrawal symptoms, or on drugs, and they vomit and they have the runs and temperature and they're all sick and everything else. It's a lot like morning sickness. You see this right here? Extreme morning sickness. Can you see this? Extreme morning sickness tied to children's neurological problems. Okay, hold on. In utero exposure to extreme morning sickness and deficits in children. Pregnant women with severe morning sickness experience adverse outcomes. Okay. Now let me tell you what morning sickness is. Morning sickness is the fetus calling out to the mother saying, I do not have enough components to form properly. Okay? And you know what the cure for morning sickness is? Orgasms. That's why God put that on the outside. So basically, after the 7th day of waiting, and then they have sex, they should have sex as many times as the guy can go, but the woman should also have as many orgasms as possible to make sure that the genome is completely full. And those will be female-derived males and female-derived females. Now, that means that what I advise is that every day, if she can have orgasms from that time, going into at least the first 5 or 6 weeks before the umbilical cord forms, then you will have a baby. The chances of you having a baby without any insertions or deletions in the genome, which is the cause of birth defects, is very, very high. So just by instructing everyone these things, we can eliminate so many birth defects. Hold on. Let me show you this video. This is Watson. And Watson is talking about the effect of deletions. He's talking about indels, deletions in the genome. And listen.
Winkler, besides looking at cancer cells, looked at normal cells and made a really sort of surprising observation, which is all of us have about 10 places in our genome where we lost a gene or gained another one.
It's thousands.
So we're sort of all imperfect. And the question is, well, if we're around here, these losses or gains might not be too bad. But if these deletions or amplifications occurred in the wrong gene, maybe we are sick. So the first disease he looked at was autism. And the reason we looked at autism was we had the money to do it. To look at an individual about $3,000, and the parent of a child with Asperger's disease, the high intelligence autism, had sent his thing to a conventional company. They didn't do it, couldn't do it by conventional genetics, but just scanning it, we began to find genes for autism, and you can see here, there are a lot of them. So a lot of autistic kids are autistic because they just lost a big piece of DNA. I mean, big piece at the molecular level. We saw one autistic kid, 5 million bases just missing from one of his chromosomes.
5 million missing bases from his chromosomes. And they weren't there because there was not adequate fluids from the conception and thereafter.
Okay. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. No, a lot of questions have pop up into my mind.
Yes.
Because have you read the Zohar?
What's that?
Zohar? Sefer HaZohar, the book of regions.
What is it? Is it biblical stuff?
No, it's a Kabbalistic.
No.
Yeah.
Look.
From Kabbalah.
Look. I got thrown out of high school. Okay, all right. My father bought my high school degree, my high school diploma. Okay, I never read it. I never read a textbook.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got through college by cramming the night before. I would organize 5 girls, the 5 smartest girls in the room. They'd give us questions before the tests. And I'd assign 5 questions to each girl. And then I'd spend the whole night getting taught by these girls in every single class. And then I would get a B or a C on the tests. Okay. So and I never did homework. Yeah. So if you ask me if I read, I have a hard time reading long things. Okay. I'm able to. I read a huge number of peer-reviewed papers, and I go through them very quickly. And I have a search mechanism that I look at with it. But tell me about your book, your Kabbalah book.
Yeah, that was actually written in the around 15th century.
Yep.
It was founded, actually, it was a forbidden book.
Yep.
It originated in Spain, but they said that it was made in Jerusalem.
Okay.
It's a commentary, a deeper commentary of the Old Testament, of the Torah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where everything is being derived now. Even the scientists, they try to look at it because of some issues of in physics, especially on what it's saying. Because there's a sword, they said that there are 50 gates, and there is only one gate and we as the original sperm cell holds the key to the world, in this world, because it is only us. We won the race, right? During conception.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
All of that is nonsense. Okay. I'm just telling you, if you have more male fluid, okay, than female fluid, then the baby is going to be more like the father than it is the mother.
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah.
It all has to do with the mix of these fluids. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. And all the fragments are similar in, hold on, in shape. Now, see this? See the shape of this? Okay. Doesn't this shape right here look a lot like this shape?
Okay.
You know why? Because that's the God fragment. That's the shape of the fragments in our body. Okay, see these? Those are computer generated fragments. These are the real fragments. But you see how they're not straight? If we did modeling of that, it's all going to be the same. It all has to be the same to make the helixes. They all have to pivot. You know, we pivot, we go like this. It's because of these fragments.
Okay. Yeah. Then
we turn. Make sense?
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
And this fragment goes with a female fragment. And they pair.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you. I'm learning a lot.
No. You have no idea. You guys are like water in the desert. You have to understand.
We need something like you to learn. Yeah.
You have to understand how difficult it is to know all this information And for me to see children being born with birth defects and women getting maimed and suffering and all the other stuff, and I know that it can be prevented. It's not easy, not easy, but it's good though, huh? Any other questions? Oh, here's this. Wait. Okay, this is what I showed to the Muslim. See? Okay. What this is, it's an animation, and they put radioactive fluid in a woman's vagina, and they injected her with oxytocin, which simulates an orgasm, and they put her under an MRI, and then this is the resulting animation. Watch this.
Oh, okay.
I looped it together. See this?
Uh-huh.
So if you've ever been with a woman who has an orgasm and her body is pulsating like that, that is the amount of push that it's going to do to the baby with lubrication to push the baby out.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Our duty is to look at what God gave us.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing actually.
You're a structural engineer, okay?
Yeah.
You respect specifications. Every single thing that you
Yes,
do,
of course.
every bolt that you put in,
Yes.
okay, every measure
Yes.
of the size of a beam or whatever it may be, it's
Yes,
all
yes,
engineered to work properly.
Of course, yeah. This one's amazing.
Same thing with God. And when people prostitute his work, it's blasphemy.
Yeah, you're
It's a
right.
lie. You're harming your own people. Can you imagine?
Thank you, Stewart. Thank you for that information. Very rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Hey. I'm happier than you.
Why?
You have no idea. You have no
Yeah.
idea that because understand something. This is a burden. All of this information is a massive burden. It's hard to sleep knowing all this stuff and seeing stuff, seeing babies suffer, seeing birth defects. It's awful.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I meet someone, and I see a child like that, and I go, Sion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
No better word.
You're right. Yeah. Thank you, Stewart. Thank you for that information.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciated.
Yes.
I've learned a lot. Especially creation. Because Zohar is all about creation. To life, L'chaim.
Yeah, again. But don't make the mistake. Don't make the mistake that any of this is religious. Okay? It's God.
It's God, of course.
It's God. Yeah. Okay. Now, my definition of God is that from which all things came.
Yeah, the creator.
Yeah, that from which all things came is God. Okay? And we are the amalgamation. Our minds are the amalgamation of all of the spirits that came before us and dwell within us. So
Agree. Yeah.
Everything we can think of, everything we've experienced is a part of us. But we've got to know the truth. That's the most important thing. And brotherhood is critical. you had internal vibrations several times during our conversation.
Yes,
Okay?
you're right.
Now, what that is intuition. It's intuitive thought. It's basically
yes.
your body saying right away, "Oh my God, he's right. He's absolutely right." And it's basically structurally your belief system. Your belief system was based on certain pillars. All of a sudden, those pillars change. Completely change. But that's the habit that truth has. The habit of truth is that it shakes us to our core, and not in a bad way, but in a good way, in a clarifying way.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Huh? That's very good. And for me, when I talk to someone like you, and when I talk to Ed, and they listen and they understand, it's extraordinarily rewarding, and hopefully it will lead to saving everyone. And and again, this is about physical, it's about real, it's about alleviation of suffering. That's our obligation.
Yeah, that's why we are here. That's our purpose.
Good.
Yeah.
Even better. I will sleep tonight better than I've slept in 16 years.
Yeah.
Let me show you just some of this. What I did. Huh?
Yeah.
What I did.
That's why we are here, to fix this world.
Good. I need help. Need a lot of help.
Need help, yeah.
Yeah. The areas I work in are vast, but I can solve most everything, including COVID and most diseases. The parasite thing is huge, really, really huge. But theoretically, not even theoretically, actually, we have concrete methods that can wipe out an enormous amount of the suffering and a lot of the business interests. A lot of the predators who keep us sick on purpose are going to get wiped out.
Yeah.
So we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful. They don't like me. Okay, the farming people.
You're a threat, huh? You're a threat.
Well, I was the one who exposed Dingvaxia.
Dingvaxia.
That was me. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh. Good to know. Huh?
Wait. See this? Do you know Victor Corpus?
Never been licensed. Okay.
Tony? Do you know Victor? Yes. You know Victor Corpus?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. He and I.
He used to be an NPA, right?
Yeah. See this? This is a brief we gave to them at Malacanang that I did in August of 2016.
Yeah.
And I have about 80 pages of conversations with Scott Halstead, who's the leading guy in the world in dengue vaccines. And I went through the whole thing with them and everything else. So they don't like me much. But I have a purpose in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just show you a couple of other things. I didn't expect to be talking to anyone tonight. Usually I wrap up. Hey, Ed.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a good impromptu date, huh? You didn't even send me a proper message. You just said, I want you to meet some people. Bang. And that was it. I was sitting there waiting for you to respond. And then I clicked on the Zoom thing. Hold on.
This is fate, they say.
Is it fate? Nothing's a coincidence. I'm very happy. I want everyone to work together. I think if this is what I had hoped it was, we'll be able to save the world. I'm not big on, I'll tell you this now, I'm not big on publicity. Okay. And so everything, we have to work everything out. The idea of me wearing an Arab headdress, okay, with sunglasses under some name that puts all this stuff has not escaped me. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, we may make some avatar. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
Ed, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Much more. If a king says something, there's not much anyone can say. Okay, but people are another story. So, well, my head is spinning a little bit, but hopefully we have a team of people and groups that will figure out the best way to protect me and protect the work and put it out in its form so we can help the most number of people. I'm fairly simple. I don't leave my premises much over the past 16 years. Okay. I only go to certain meetings because I have security issues and all. But I'll show you some pictures. But this is me. Okay, with the Maharaj. Yeah, okay. And this is
good in the barong, huh?
this is me with the Guardians. My shirt from the Guardian says Emperor. Okay. Hold on. This is me with a few people. I'm related to Ramos by marriage.
Okay.
Okay. And Rafael Luna, I know.
Oh, Rafael Luna, yeah.
Victor Corpus and I work together. We've met for the past, Vic and I have met for the past 11 years. And we meet once a week. I go through 30 to 40 articles on world affairs during the week, and I highlight them. I have a massive library of highlighted articles going way back, okay? And then he and I discuss them. So I am very well versed in Afghanistan and China and the Silk Road and all the political aspects of everything else. And we've done that for 11 years. Okay, this is me and Honasan.
Honasan, yeah.
This is when they overthrew Marcos. And Relay is my Nino.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and this is my father-in-law. And he was the monarch. Edza was about Maharlika. Edza was about restoring the kingdom of Maharlika. And Marcos was in on it. Marcos was in on it. That's why he didn't kill anyone. Marcos was my father-in-law's attorney. He was the attorney for the royal family. And it appears that he and my father-in-law were half brothers. So he's also royal. I'm a little tired now, but I'll get into that later. I'll get into that when we'll talk about Rizal and his role in this and all the other things. But see, this is me. This is the Guardians. And they gave me this as Sultan. All right. But see, this is General Lim. Danny Lim from West Point.
Yeah. Danny Lim, yeah.
Yeah. My father-in-law was West Point and Danny was West Point. Okay?
You're right, yeah. West Pointer, yeah. Ramos is West Pointer also.
Right. Because all of them are royal too. This is me with the Guardians. Okay. This is me with the Guardians. This is me with Binay and this guy. who I believe was from Saudi Arabia, but they said he was from Hamas. I had a peace plan, all right, that I discussed with him, and we'll talk about that later. This is when they tried to get me to name this guy Sultan of Sulu, but he wasn't real. This is Melchor's wife. That's Jackie Rodriguez.
Okay.
This is Jackie Rodriguez. People. That's the Spanish ambassador in me. That's Yasai.
Okay.
This is Yasai right here.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay. And then see, they address me as dear Sultan and all that, which I don't go by. I don't go by any of that stuff.
Mm-mm.
And then this is me.
Mm.
And then I was the guest of honor in 2012 at the massacre ceremony. That's Mangu the Dadatu.
Mga Dudato, yeah. Oo.
Yeah. And then this is my late wife.
Oh, beautiful. Huh?
Yeah. See this? This is an epaulet. It's a sign of military, sign of military or royal rank. She was the crown princess. Okay. I did not know. See this? There's Divinicia.
Yeah.
And they caught me in a picture. These are all former chiefs of staff and ambassadors. This is the Philippine Council for Foreign Relations.
Okay.
And I'm like a quasi-member.
Okay.
Okay. And this is during EDSA.
Mm-hmm.
And there's my father-in-law and my father-in-law, who was the real leader behind the scenes. They got remarried in August of '85. Ramos was best man. Ramos was my father-in-law's protege.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hold on. Then this is with me when we met the Russian delegation.
Oh.
Okay.
It's divination also there.
Yeah. And then this is me with the tribes.
Okay.
Yeah. I have ancient chains. I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you're recording this, Ed.
Yeah.
Because it makes, believe it or not, it makes me safer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a school, you have schools, Ed. So we need to make curriculums, learning modules.
Yeah, learning modules. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. I said, geez, he's come up with these schools. You built them from scratch.
Mm.
Guess what? If I went to your schools, your teachers would have thrown me out. Disruptive and disrespectful. Yeah.
In the Philippines, we can do.
In any country. In any country.
Like Food University, Philippines.
Yeah. Where do we go from here? I'd like to rest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for everything.
We'll talk about that one in the foundation,
Let's have a slight prayer.
So we will just
for the Philippine girl to win the New York Open today.
Yeah. You're 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want, we can reconvene tomorrow. If you guys are available. And you can talk amongst yourselves now, and we'll figure out where to go and
okay.
how to
Right.
All
right.
I really can't express My gratitude.
Thank you, Stewart. Thank you for everything. Thank you for
All right.
teaching us.
And we'll talk
Cheers,
tomorrow.
cheers.
I'll wait
Have
to
a
hear
good
from
night.
you,
Have a
Ed.
good night. Good sleep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
you've done your purpose, so that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Tony, ano? Talagay mo.
Kwento eh.
Ah?
Hindi, ano, doktor pala. Oo.
Ang sabi niya, nagbago yung ano eh. Yung tawag niya ka, Tony, yung ano, yung tawag niya ito ng Afghanistan, di ba? Afghanistan. Kasi
sabi niya?
Yeah, Afghanistan pala eh, Israelite din pala yung mga yan eh. One of the lost tribes ng yung 10.
Lahat naman eh. Tama yung sabi niya nun eh. Lahat naman may Hebrew blood. Kasi nga galing lahat tayo kay lahat.
Oo, di ba?
Diba? Galing tayo lahat kay Noah eh. Isa lang nabuhay nun eh.
Kay Noah. Tama nga. Totoo yun. Pero anyway, ituloy natin. Paano yun? Yung kanina kasi, walang si ka Joey, yung i-decentralize natin, Tony, para mabilis, ano?
Hello?
Yeah.
Naputol.
Tony.
Diba, galing lahat kay Noah.
Oo nga, tama. Yung sa wow, i-decentralize natin. Para hindi tayo hirap.
Pero kailangan may humawak kasi baka ma-lose natin lahat yun. Baka maging rogue rogue group.
Hindi. Diyan naman. Si Joey, siya yung...
Kailangan makontrol lang natin sila.
Chairman, oo. Tapos kasi para yung
okay din yung idea na yun eh. Okay din yun eh. Yung ASEP kasi, di ba, may organization din kami dahil sa sobrang dami. Biniyak-biyak din. Kasi namin eh. Kaya meron kaming ASEP Saudi Arabia, di ba? Binibigyan namin ng leadership yung mga tao doon.
Kasi yung mangyari,
bigyan mo ng leadership talaga yung mga tao doon para mag-lead sila.
Kasi kung centralized, tapos yung nasa taas hindi makakilos, di ba? Wala, maghihintayan eh, di ba?
Oo, tama, oo.
Di bigyan natin sila ng na silang gumawa ng kanilang activities, pero in line doon sa ating nakaline niya sa ating sa yung
pwede yan.
Kasi ang registration atin naman eh.
Tuwa si Stewart kanina eh. Doon pa siya pagka-hudyo siya. Hudyo rin pala eh.
Ano yan? Malapit na niya sabihin sa iyo yung niya. Di ba?
Siya yung Antichrist.
Malapit na. Malapit na niya. Sasabihin niya na eh. Di ba? Sabi niya, meron
sabi niya, are you a Messianic Jew? Yes, sabi ko. I believe in Jesus. Sabi ko eh. Yeshua HaMashiach. Sabi ko eh. Okay. Sabi
niya, may peace plan din. May peace plan din siya eh.
May peace plan daw siya sa Hamas eh.
Di ba? Sabi niya, may peace plan siya.
May peace plan daw siya eh. Ganyan talaga pag may edad na maraming naiisip.
No. Medyo...
Antichrist, bata eh. Bata yung Antichrist. Hindi siya may edad eh. Bata. Kasing edad din ni Kristo.
30 years old. 30 years old.
Yun ang matindi sa lahat.
Yung 30 years old niyan, yung yan eh. Katulad ni Moses, 30 years old siya nung nung utusan siya, di ba?
30 yan,
kaya
yan eh, general yan eh.
Si Adan, kinukang nga nila si Adan, nung pinurma siya, 30 years old na siya, di ba? Yung niya.
Tama.
Yung prime, nasa prime siya eh. Kaya sabi nila, sabi nila yung ating daw, glorified body is 30 years old.
Pwede pa yun. May buhok pa ako nun.
Yung glorified body raw natin.
Meron pa ako nun.
Sabi nga niya, 30 years old daw. Yung glorified
Oo
body.
nga. Yung ano din eh. Kaya Antichrist, sabi ko na, hindi matanda yan. Bata yan. Magugulat ang lahat yan.
Bata.
Yan, ano dyan, 32, 33, ganyan. Parang si Christ.
Baka yung anak niya.
Pero magaling magsalita. Magaling magsalita eh. Very exciting din yung ano niya. Okay dito si Stewart eh. Kasi ang in-explain lang niya, para bang kumare, di nag-sex kayo, di ba? Bilyon-milyon nilabas mong sperm cell. Hindi may isang papasok. Ngayon, yung anong mangyayari doon sa mga naiwan? Sa kabala kasi, ma-importante yun. Sa kabala, napaka-importante kasi ang kabala kasi, it explains creation eh. Kaya, interesado siya sa akin. Hindi, ganito yan. Sabi ko, sinabi ng Zohar, ganyan. Hindi ko nabasa yan. Sabi niya, gano'n, basahin mo, 12 volumes yan. Sabi ko, volume 1 pa lang ako. 5 taon na ako, volume 1 pa. Hindi ko maintindihan eh. Pinaka-obscure sa lahat ng nabasa ko yan eh. Pero ang ganda. Ang ganda siya. Tungkol sa creation siya eh.
Oo nga. Kinakain daw ng ano yan, ng mga white blood cells.
Kinakain ng white blood cells. Tapos, saka naman siya tumatabi doon sa egg cell, pinapasa rin niya sa loob. Yung sinasabi niya, kaya natatransmit din tama. May punto siya rin eh. Sabi ko, make sense ha. Sabi niya, hindi lang yung nakapasok ang tumutulong, pati yung mga natira. Tama yung sabi ng Kabala eh, walang waste sa universe eh. Walang tapon, lahat may gamit. Yun ang sinasabi ng ano doon eh.
So parang teamwork sila, no? Sabi niya.
Teamwork sila. Yung mga naiwan, ito siya yung nagtatransmit ng ugali. Yung mga ninuno, mga lola, gano'n, pala yun. Tapos yung nakapasok, yun yung parang nag-create ng bagong, minsan na ano siya, na overwhelm siya nung ano. Make sense ha? Sinabi na sa Zohar yun. Sinabi sa Zohar kasi meron isang place, isang mundo, sabi niya gano'n, na ikaw may hawak ng secret. Yung secret na yun, sabi niya, itong mundo na ito, merong 50 gates. At yung 49 gates sarado. Yung isang gate na yon, makakapasok ka pero hindi ka makakalabas. Actually, yun yung Excel eh. Sinasabi ng mga rabbi, Excel yun, oo. Pag nakapasok ka doon, hindi ka na makakalabas. Tama yun. May punto siya doon. Sabi ko, tama yun. Pero ngayon ko lang nalaman, yung tira nga, tama, oh. Matalino, no?
Marami siyang meron siyang invention. Marami siyang invention. May invention nga siya yung sa...
Tapos sinasabi niya na lahat ng bagay ay nagbabibrate. Sabi ko, hindi ba yan din ang salita ng Diyos? Sabi ko, pag nagsasalita tayo, nagbabibrate. Tama ka, sabi ko. God's word is vibrating. Tama ka, sabi ko sana eh. Di tama yung string theory. Sabi ko,
vibes.
10-dimensional string theory na nagbabibrate lang.
Vibes kayo niyan, vibes.
Vibes, frequency lahat kasi yan eh.
Vibrance.
Pati kami, yung dynamics namin, pag nag-aaral kami ng dynamics, yung earthquake engineering, puro frequency yan eh.
Frequency.
Frequency lang. Parang sa electrical, di ba? Ganun din.
Meron. Frequency. Tama.
Frequency lahat yan.
Kasi movement eh.
Tama.
Movement.
May punto eh. Tapos sabi niya, aalisin daw niya yung pain sa childbirth. Sabi ko, hindi, wag mo aalisin. Sabi ko, wag mo aalisin dahil yung rate na yan kasi may pleasure yun eh. I disagree. Sabi. No pain, no pleasure. Sabi ko. Tawa siya eh. Kinakontra ka ba? Abay. Naman. So, ano kaya origin niya? Saan siya galing?
Pagkakuan, Bloom ang apelyido niya, Bloom. So,
Bloom.
So, ano yan, kay David daw siya eh. So, kasi kay David.
Si David?
David, hindi ba? Ano?
Half-half siya. May David ba siya? Di half-half siya. Kasi si nanay niya, si Ruth eh. Moabite eh.
Moabite. Si
Jesus Christ nga, half-half din eh. Kaya nga nasama tayo eh. Talagang kinuha siya kay David para ma-save ang mga Gentiles.
Si David.
Dahil kay Ruth eh.
Kay Jesse, no? Jesse. Si asawa ni Ruth.
Ang sinasabi ng mga rabbi, na si David, anak sa labas. Kaya nga, di ba, nung hinarap yung 10 anak, 10 lang. May hinahanap ni Samuel.
Yung shepherd, ano?
Sabi niya, may isang anak ka pa. Yung isa, sabi gano'n.
Nasa shepherd.
Parang, ang sabi nila, parang anak sa labas si David.
Kaya nung presenta yung mga anak niya, wala si
Wala
David.
siya eh. Wala siya. Yung sinasabi nila. Kaya nga sabi rin niya sa Psalms, di ba? I am wonderfully and ano yun? Yung terribly made, di ba? Parang gano'n, yung may takot siyang ginagawa siya. Ibig sabihin, yung nanay niya takot. Kasi nga, anak sa labas.
JC.
Yun ang sabi ng mga rabbi. I was fearfully and wonderfully made. Sabing gano'n, di ba? Yung fear doon, sinasabi nila, takot na takot yung nanay dahil nga gumagawa siya ng kasalanan.
Nga, sabi nga niya, I was, doon nga, sa Psalm, sinabi niya, na
sinabi niya,
I was
fearfully and wonderfully made. Siyempre, ang interpretation natin, fearfully, gano'n. Pero actually, sinasabi ng rabbi, hindi.
In sin. In sin, I was formed in the womb of my mother.
I was born,
sin. Yeah.
Ano siya, anak sa labas.
Yata.
Yun ang ano nila, interpretation. Sa Midrash.
In sin niya, sabi niya.
Yung mikba na yun, yung sinasabi niya na mikba. Ano yan eh, yan ang, alam mo yung mga rabay ngayon, nagtatanong ko si Rabay Anapay, ako, tinatawagan na naman ako. Kasi nag-Rosh-Hashanah na sila eh, nag-New Year na sila eh, September 8 ang New Year nila eh. Tapos Yom Kippur na sila, Day of Atonement sila ngayon.
Hindi, medyo...
So, inaano nga nila yung, di ba sa nabanggit ni Jesus Christ eh, in the last days, it will be like the days of Noah. Sabing gano'n, di ba? Like the days of Noah.
Noah.
Yan pala, yung days pala ni Noah, no, yung mga panahon ni Noah pala, nag-aano na pala sila ng mga hayop, yung mimix-mix. Para sa trabaho, kumari, yung kabayo, mabilis tumakbo, lalagyan nila ng baka para malakas tumakbo, malakas siya, gano'n. Kaya pin-reserve pala yung original niyang creation. Yun ang nilagay sa barko, yung creation na yun, yung original talaga.
Original,
yun ang nilagay talaga doon para lang masira yung ginawa ng tao.
Ngayon,
tapos sinasabi nila ngayon, yung troubling waters of Noah, ngayon, yung nangyayari ngayon, tubig ni Noah daw yan, sinasabi nila.
Ngayon,
yung pandemic, yung financial crisis, ano yan, sabi niya, matindi yan, sabi niya. Kaya ang ganda nga ano niya, Midrash na sabi niya, to be safe at this time, sabi niya, you should be in the ark.
No, sa ark.
Ibig sabihin naman natin sa church, yung mga Messianic na tayo, mga Christian, dapat nasa church tayo. Doon na lang talaga tayo. Dahil
Lord.
paglalabas ka talaga maingay.
Tama.
Maraming magulo sa mundo ngayon eh.
Yung ang bago nilang discovery ngayon sa Israel, yung baboy, kaya nag-aalaga silang baboy ngayon sa Israel eh. Yung baboy, yung organ ng baboy, parehas ng organ ng tao.
Totoo yun. May ginawa kaming ospital eh. Ang problema yung mga Muslim. Ang ginagamit nila, plastic na baboy.
Plastic na baboy.
Plastic na kasi bawal humawak sa kanila ng baboy. Nakita ko yun eh. Nung ginagawa namin, ba't may ganito? Ay, hindi, sa mga Muslim yan, sabi niya. Ganun ba? Kasi nga daw, yung organ nga daw ng baboy, parehas na sa tao. Huwag ko na naman yun eh. Tama, sabi mo na yun. Tama yun.
Nagtatransplant na sila eh. Sa Israel. Sa Israel.
Nakakahawak sila, no? Bawal lumawak ng baboy.
Eh, Israel, ano na, yung tawag nito eh.
Sabagay, rated naman ng Israel.
No, ano na sila eh.
Iba naman ang style, diba?
Iba na yung kanila eh.
Magandang kausap siguro to siya, no? Pag nagkaharap-harap tayo, no? Pakwento to.
Ilalabas niya na sa'yo yung 170 volts niya.
70 books, sabi ko sa Bible, bawat text, 70 interpretations.
Hindi, volts. 170 volts.
Bolt.
Oh.
Bolts.
Volts.
Ayun yung lalagyan ng ginto.
Oh. Kaya sabi niya sa akin yan eh. 170. Sabi niya, volts.
Alam mo ngayon,
Huh?
napapansin ko ngayon, maraming kumakausap sa akin, hindi ko lang pinapansin eh. Ang daming gusto mag-money laundering ngayon, ha?
Ang daming, ang daming. Ngay, ito si Juan eh, parating padala sa akin din eh. Kung pwede ba yung, wow. Itong pangalan nito, si Mark. Iban Aso. Si Mark, ito nga, pinapadala niya na gusto niya i-confirm kung pwede tayo mag-receive ng, ito eh, pinadala niya eh. Mark.
Ang dami ngayon, ang dami.
Kasi uubusin nila pera. Gato ni sinabi ko sa'yo, di ba? Uubusin nila yan.
Oo. Alam mo ba kanina kinikwento sa akin nila Lane?
Ito.
Si Lucio Tan, nagbebenta na. Dahil daw baka manalo si Bongbong.
Bongbong, mananalo siya, sigurado. Kukunin ni Bongbong yan.
Mananalo si Bongbong.
Kukunin niya.
Kukunin lahat ng ano nila yan. Paski SM daw, kukunin niya. Kasi ngayon, may balita ngayon na nadulas si Deo Makalma eh. Kinakausap na ng Iglesia ni Cristo sila Bongbong, yung First Family.
Nga.
Kasi pag ngayon, ang problema ng mga politician ngayon, hindi sila makalabas, hindi sila makapagkampanya eh. Di lalabas, puro TV sila, di ang laki ng gastos nila, di ba?
Forward ko
hindi
sa
sila makalabas eh. Hindi sila makapagbigay ng pera. Kaya ngayon, ang takbuhan nila ngayon, Iglesia. Kasi nga, Iglesia, black voting.
Oo, tama.
Sasabihin nila, social media eh. Ganun din, no? Magdudumihan lang, magbabatuhan lang sila ng putik sa social media. Pero ngayon, ang binubuo nga, kaya parang si Sara Duterte, hindi tumakbo.
Hindi. Tatakbo father niya. Kasi, kasi ganito yan eh. Si Duterte, dapat manalo siya. Kung hindi, babalikan siya. Kung hindi, babalikan siya. Kailan niya ng immune.
Dahil sa human rights.
Dapat ma-immune siya. Yan yung niya. Ni Duterte. Dapat immune siya. Pero ngayon, at the same time, itong si Bongbong, pwede niya nang ilabas yung mga perang nandyan, di ba? Na itong sinasabi itong si Bloom. Ito. Kausap natin kanina. Ayan yan. Sabi nga niya, kung magtayo ng university, di ba?
Oo.
Pinoward ko sa inyo dyan sa kanyang yung tignan mo, sa WOW.
Oo.
Yan, i-confirm daw kung pwede yung WOW committee tumanggap ng pera.
Sino? Si
Mark yan eh.
Si Mark.
Ito yan, si Mark. Si Mark. Kopya ko to. Para lalabas, galing talaga sa kanya. Hindi ko pa, sabi ko ito naman si Juan, nagpapadala na naman ng si Jeho. Mahirap pa si Jeho, mahirap.
Ako sabihin mo yung si Jeho na yun.
Padala. Bakit pinadala sa ibang ato?
Jeho? Malabo naman kausap eh. Tinakbo lang yung password niya na yan. Tinakbo niya yung kay ano, nawala lahat. Tagal-tagal si Javid eh. Di ba? Kami, napuyat kami ni Nash yan.
Tama, oo.
Talaga naman sabi ko, papira. Tatawa-tawa na lang kami ni Jonah. Sabi ko, papira. Tawa-tawa na sabi ko. Wala eh. Di ba, ganun kasi nakasama sa buhay.
Ngayon eh, pinadala ko dyan.
Okay.
Para anong kanya. Uubusin nila yung pera eh. Kasi ngayon, nag-start na sila sa US ngayon. Ng Bitcoin. Nag-start na, di ba? Ang US.
Nag-start na sila mag-Bitcoin?
Nag-start na yung US. Ngayon, pwede ka na bumili sa Amazon ng Bitcoin. McDo, sa McDo, yung mga nila, Bitcoin na. Ano na? At ang unang nag-start ko ang sa Iraq. Itong Iraq.
Okay.
Iraq. Medyo nag-ano naman ng Iraq eh. Hindi alis ang US dyan sa Iraq. Diba? Hindi niya hindi nila
may oil eh. Marami pa rin oil ng Iraq eh.
Oo. Ang pinakamarami Israel. Kanya lahat sila doon.
Oo, Israel ang marami.
Oo. Kita mo naman ba't doon sa may boundary ba't ang Lebanon katabi lang ang Lebanon eh. Ba't hindi nakakuha, di ba? Katabi nila yung
fault line dyan.
Nag-concentrate doon sa territory ng concentrated sa territory ng tawag niya ng Israel. Yung oil. Trillion
Kasi may fault line dyan, bro. Ang fault line dyan, ang naghati dyan yung Dead Sea.
Oo, doon So
nandun lahat yung oil. Lahat yung oil.
Andun ngayon. Tapos kaya yun
sa Lebanon wala.
Nawala. Ang Lebanon wala eh.
Wala.
Tapos yung baka makuha pati yung ng Iran pupunta lahat dyan eh. Pati kaya ang kaibigan ng Israel ngayon yun, di ba yung Cyprus sa kabila, saka Greece, no?
Oo nga, tama.
Yun eh, yun yung
Turkey.
Sa Ezekiel,
bantayan yan, Turkey.
Yung Ezekiel 38 na sinasabi niya, bagong may nag-release na bago. Diyan manggagaling daw yung yan daw, yun. Malabo yung yan daw yung sabi ko na nga, sentro eh. Yan ang sentro eh. Diyan sila magkukunan eh. Tapos Gog, no? Yung Gog and Mag. Yan ang kanila, yung medyo iba sa iba sa padala ko nga sa'yo. Bago eh. Bagong nila ngayon, version nila eh. Bago na version na padala ko. Afghanistan Prophecy. Bagong version, bago to.
Ito.
Ayan, sa'yo, pinadala ko. Afghanistan.
Nasaan na ba yung video?
Diyan, sa
lagi yan, bro. Hihila ako. Share na.
Okay.
Share na.
Sige.
Kaed,
Hoy.
pag-aralan natin yung konto ko sa DPWH Central.
Sige, ipadala mo lang lahat ng mga kontak Tony.
Kasi baka mamaya magpagawa ang government ng OFW hospital, tayo na mag-cater.
Sige, okay. Hindi, ang kasi nandiyan kay Tony yung yung ano, yung hindi tayo gagastos eh. Hindi tayo gagastos eh ng pera kang sila magpa-finance eh. Galing sa labas.
Apo.
Sila lahat ang gagawa. Oo. Yung ano, yung Africa, alam mo ba, napadala ko sa inyo.
Hindi ko pa po nakikita eh. Financer po yun?
Oo.
Funder?
Bakit? Tanong mo kay Tony, ano yun eh, naka-address sa WOW yun eh. Yeah.
Yung igagawa po kasi is 200 million worth yung quarantine facilities. Kumbaga, abono po muna natin tsaka tayo babayaran.
Ano yun? Ganito mangyayari. Igagaranti lang ng... teka. Yung pala eh. Mayroon ka pala eh. Pagdating na Tony. Tony. Itong kay... Meron daw, ano yan? Tama-tama yung kila Kim. Yung nakakuan sa WOW, di ba? Kasi 200 million daw eh. Ang budget daw nila. Tapos saka na lang gagawin mo na sa kabayaran, di ba? Ang kailangan ng ano nito, hindi ba Dutch ang magbibigyan ng fund? Kila Kim? Dutch. Oo. Ano yun? Pwedeng i-arrange. Pero dapat manggaling ang...
Sino buyer? Sinong hiram?
Ayan o kay Kawawi. Tatay, hospital.
Quarantine facilities po.
Quarantine
facilities.
Yun yun.
Parang hospital po.
Parang hospital. Kuha na yun. COVID kompleto na yung facilities na yun.
Napunta po ako sa mismo site yung last week sa Pasay po, tabi ng airport. Doon po kami nag-usap.
Ayun, alam mo, gagawin yun. Mga 2 weeks lang, tapos na. 1 month, tapos ka mo. Yun, ang gagawa. Sila, yung mga foreigner. Tatayo nila.
Okay po. That's
Mabilis
good.
lang.
Po. Alamin po namin ni Tony, gagawa ko ng GC namin.
Pero yon dapat sila ang sila ang tayo lang mag-a-arrange, sila yung direkta doon sa Sila ang direkta doon.
Sa government po. Ay sa kay Ms. Kim.
Direct sila doon. Kasi ganyan eh. Hindi naman tayo pwede dahil kailangan dumaan ng tawag na yung health, di ba? Teka, ba't hindi mo nakita yon? Padala ko nga sa'yo.
Okay po.
Kay John.
Marami silang project Ed. Meron din silang 7 hectares na i-develop at saka flood control.
Yun.
Na inaalok sa atin.
Bakit mo yun, di ba kanina sa WhatsApp?
Apo, Tony.
Kung yung flood control,
kailangan natin yung German,
yun yung German. Yun nga. Ayun, EPCF funding eh.
EPC na.
Ang kagandahan po nito, nakakonekta sila sa build. Kaya sooner or later, pag abo po si Bongbong, marami tayong projects.
Si Bongbong inaano nila ngayon. Malakas si Bongbong, tahimik lang. Kasi nga, walang pera yung walang pera yung mga politician ngayon eh. May pera pero hindi sa makalabas.
Ipadala ko sa...
Pamimigay ng pera dapat eh.
Kaya nga iniipit ni Duterte, puro lockdown mo eh. Matalino si Duterte eh.
Oo. Matalino eh, di ba?
Oo nga.
Akala na mga tao puro lockdown pero hindi nila planado ng Duterte lahat pagbabago sa Pilipinas.
Kaya nga.
Bobby, andyan sa ano mo? Pinadala ko sa ano mo? Sa WhatsApp. Bobby, andyan sa WhatsApp mo.
Okay po, checkin ko po kahit.
Ngayon, kung interesado sila, gumawa ng letter of intent ka agad yan, no?
Wala po ako na-receive kahit sa messenger na lang po. Sige po.
Sa WhatsApp,
Sige
andyan na. Nakita ba?
Ito na po, nakita ko na po.
Andyan na.
May anytime po daw pwedeng natin makuha yung papers para mapag-aralan natin yung project.
Huh?
Anytime pwede po natin makuha yung papers para mapag-aralan yung project summary para mapag-aralan po natin project. Kasi mag-uusap na po muna.
Padala mo sa kanyan. Kasi ito, mabilis itayo ito. 112 beds to eh. Mga 5 million euro lang to eh. Oh.
Okay po.
May 200 million yun sa siya, no? Oh. Ang daling itayo ito. Tapos funded ng ano yan, ng Dutch. Okay?
Kahit nakatayo na yung pundasyon ng building eh. Yung mga itutuloy na lang po eh.
Yung alin?
Yung pundasyon ng building nakatayo na.
Equal lang naman yan eh. Ang kailangan mo... Okay, tama. Gano'ng kalaki yung yung area?
Medyo malaki rin po. Sinend ko kay Tony yung picture eh. Nasa kanya po. Nasa WhatsApp niya. I-send ko rin po sa inyo.
Padala ko sa'yo bro eh. Padala ko sa kanya, Wawi.
Kasi,
sige po.
Kasi ganito, yung building matagal pang ano. Ayan kasi, kailangan lang niya ilang area lang kailangan niya. No?
Kahit para pagkakasabi sa akin, 5 building, 4 building, parang 5 story yata. 4 building, 5 stories po.
Kaya nga. Pwede mag-inquire ka agad dyan, pero ang ano kasi yan kasi mabilis. Mabilis yan. At saka pwede ilipat-lipat. Kahit na lahat ng region eh. Ayos. Tony.
Ay, tama.
Opo.
Saan mo pinadala ka? Ito.
Sa ano? Sa
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp po.
Nakita ko na. Pero, okay to.
Ay, tama.
Okay na to. Dito ilagay yung ano. Meron na pala ito eh.
Oo nga po eh. Nakatayo na yung foundation eh.
Diyan na ilagay yung ano. Pwede. Dali-dali lang. Gaano kalaki ito? Yan kailangan natin dyan. Yan kailangan natin dyan. Ano eh. 5,000 square meter lang.
Malalaman po natin pagka binigay sa atin yung papers.
5,000 square meter, half hectares. Kailangan mo dyan. Sa isang...
Para kasya, para mong ganun kalaki yan. Baka mas malaki pa ho.
Ha? Mas malaki to, no?
Para mas malaki pa ho yan.
5,000 square meter ang isang hospital. Tapos yung iba, parking na. Parking. Tapos, dalawang hospital lang gusto nila i-finance. Dalawang hospital. Ang isang hospital, 2,500, 2 million, 2,500,000 lang. So, dalawa na yung hospital na yan. Dalawang hospital, 5 million euro. Dalawang hospital na yan.
Ayos po. Tama-tama.
Dalawang hospital yan. So, 112 times 2 beds. Tapos kompleto. Basahin mo. Ayos. Okay na tayo.
Opo. Kaya marami tayong makukuha project sa kanya pagka natapos po natin yan. Yan lang ang first project niya sa atin.
Sige. Okay. Ganda ito, no? Gabi, 11 o'clock yan na sa'yo, no? Kawabi, sige, okay na, ha?
Sige, alamin na lang po namin ni Katony.
Sige. Okay.
Salamat po. God bless po.
God bless, bro. God bless.